probably. I'm pretty sure if you Google Coach Darren, somebody who got in trouble. But again, for instance, if you're talking about, I'm gonna be honest with, be blunt on this one because I honestly we did bring him up, Mark Thoren. Okay, now Mark Thoren. Oh, it's none of your business, is it? It's none of our business. Then why did he put it out on YouTube on his channel? We didn't hack him. We didn't dox him. We didn't come up pull
Well, Mike
stuff.
did the same. Has done.
We didn't pull out stuff out of his closet, out of his knowledge. We didn't. He put it on his channel, so he made it everybody's
And honestly, I
business.
really don't care.
Well, actually, for the most part, the stuff we show on our channel is
We do an array of things.
right, and it's not something that we do. Do we do our research?
And if they put their
You know,
stuff
do we
out
do
there, it
that?
can be talked about. And if they can be used as an example,
Right.
so be it. If we make fun of them, so be it.
Right.
It's kind of, and now you guys want to actually talk about it. And Filipina freedom, our relationship is fine. So what's the big deal? I say prove it.
Huh?
He's talking about our relationship's fine. He must be in a major age gap relationship. And I'm going to call that out beyond 15, 20 years.
Wait, is that random?
Just random. I bet he's got a YouTube channel.
Okay, now for example, that one, that's a good statement, and the reason why I'm scrolling through the comments. Our relationship is fine. What's the big deal?
Some are jumping to the age gap relationship, and we said from the start, before they couldn't hear us on the microphone,
Here's the thing.
that we were doing an extra live age gap relationship. Y'all wanted to talk about it yesterday. There is a good, bad, and ugly. Okay, you want to test the real relationship, see how it lasts beyond 5 years. You want to test the relationship, go out in public more, or actually do different events, go different places, travel back to your home country, hang out with your family for a little while. And if all of that works out, then welcome to the, what is it, 10, 15% that survive an age gap relationship.
What I was getting at is,
you get past the 5 year period, we'll see how you guys get along.
What I'm getting at is, dude, I mean, with all due respect, even the people in the chat will probably agree with me. You're like one of those, you know, you.
Well, my guess is he's got a YouTube channel. So why don't we put a link up? So because Filipina freedom, that would happen to be your name. Are you a YouTuber? Are you butthurt from my comment? Are you being called out by an American woman because you couldn't cut it in your country? Come on and talk to me.
Here's the thing again.
That's the difference
between me and Heidi. Heidi will
call you out like it is.
Well, but here's the thing again. Filipina freedom again.
Fine. The fact that you're saying your relationship is fine means it's not fine.
Okay. Again, regardless of what you said, although it is part of what you said, you're kind of like, think about it this way. Think of this chat.
He does have a channel, but he's only got 3 subscribers. But the fact he puts his photo
okay, that's
up there,
irrelevant.
People that are just watchers,
his subscriber count is irrelevant.
No,
honestly.
I got that.
What I'm saying is, Filipina freedom, again, with all due respect. Think about it this way. Think of the chat as...
Boom. 1 second. I'm going to keep on addressing this guy. I am 58, and I work with the developmentally disabled in Missouri. Okay. Annalie is 20 and lives in Samar. Red flag, and red flag.
All right. Anyway, again, regardless of any background, forget backgrounds, forget age. What I'm saying is, again, think of the chat as a coffee shop.
Oh, you had a baby before marriage here, huh? And in Samar?
Okay. Now, and then you guys are sitting quietly in a coffee shop, and somebody says, you know those age gap relationships? And then here you are jumping up and say, our relationship is fine. What's the big deal?
It's not fine. She's 20 years old. And another 5 to 6 years, she's going to leave.
Again, I'm trying to show you his reaction is somewhat out of place because that's kind of odd. Again, if it was a coffee shop.
You guys got us in a rare form today.
Babe, again, in a coffee shop, and somebody says, well, age gaps. Somebody says in the coffee shop, oh, age gaps are crap. Again, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is somebody said that, and then you jump up and you say this and say
Well, I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna get the actual
our
StreamYard today.
relationship
I'm
is
gonna
fine.
actually talk to people.
Our relationship is fine. What's the big babe? I'm trying to finish again. Why do you think I keep rewinding? And what I'm saying is, don't you see that your reaction is out of place? And don't you see that this is either some form of guilt or insecurity? And I'm not over analyzing things. What I'm saying is be aware anybody in that's not in your position that sees this reaction from somebody's like, whoa, 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 what's going on here?
I don't know. The fact he says it's not, it is.
Well,
I mean,
again, we're not picking on you.
I am.
I get that, but I'm saying, okay, let me re-paraphrase. I am not picking on you, but be aware of what you're showing other people
This is
around
about
you.
being raw, real, and realistic. And they're
Well,
gonna get it today.
well, the difference is, I mean, there's a difference between,
And Coach Darren, if people want to sit there, let's get back to Coach Darren. If they want to sit there and talk
well, Coach
about
Darren
no
isn't.
YouTuber should talk about
Coach
another
Darren isn't.
YouTuber, they
Okay,
do it all day long. You
Filipina
just saying
Freedom is a real
something now.
person. Okay, Coach Darren is not. Well, Coach Darren is a real person, but it's not really him. They could be pretending to be who they want to be, if that makes any sense. In Filipina Freedom's defense, Filipina Freedom is them, and Coach Darren is who. I mean, for all I know, it could be me on the
Mark Hall said,
on the
I'm
phone.
60 and my future wife hasn't been born yet, right? Talk to Mark on that one. All right, I'm going to put the link on. You guys want to come on today and discuss? We're just getting into the age gap relationship, what it might look like to Filipinas, what it may look like to other foreigners, what I actually thought when I actually seen it. Full discussion yesterday, like going on and on and on.
It's music to motion.
Yeah. When did I pin that? I haven't put it up
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, you did. It's
When?
right there. What are you talking about? It's right there.
Oh,
Look.
did I hit that already?
Yeah, look. It's right
Where?
there.
Where? Let me put it up again.
Okay, you didn't have to. That's literally a few scrolls.
Well,
few scrolls.
Well, that way nobody misses that. But I'm going to tell you, with an age gap relationship, we'll get some statistics because, I love the channels. Hey, what's going on, Mike?
No. Missouri. No, Missouri is not a red flag. That's not what she said. She wasn't talking about Missouri.
Yeah, maybe. Where are you at? Where are you at, Missouri? Near Kansas City? Are you out near the Ozarks? I mean, there's a few places you actually can be. I've been to Missouri, and of course, no red flags.
No. That's no. I think, babe. I think.
Oh, is that the Freedom guy?
It's a joke.
From who, though?
Babe.
Oh, Mark Hall.
You said something earlier.
Yeah, I said red flags because I was reading.
Because of
the guy was from Missouri. His girlfriend
that-
was Samar, the 20.
the Samar
Cheers, man.
statement. The Samar statement. To clarify.
Well, I think I said he was from Missouri. He said he.
No,
was from
I know
Missouri.
that, but I'm pretty sure he knows that. He's just joking, I'm sure.
You mind your business over there, and I'm gonna mind mine today.
Roosters are loud. Oh, that's you, Michael Johnson. Roosters are loud behind me, so.
So what you doing for Easter today?
Pretty much just hanging out, drinking beer. We had 3 parades over the past several days. So I went out and videoed the parades. That was cool.
Were they carrying like Jesus around, or Mary and the baby and everything?
All the saints, yeah. So different saints on different floats, and live band music. Yeah, just like marching band
right?
kind of.
No, it's loud,
stuff.
right? Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
was gonna put it up.
I enjoyed it.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's what this is. This is a. Hey, Michael, we're running a health and wellness channel
Well,
now.
okay, now actually, Gypsy, to clarify again, I heard this was health and wellness. Wrong channel. Our other channel is somewhat like a health and wellness channel. This is more like a survival channel. how to survive in the Philippines.
It's not, the
Yeah.
other one's not really like a health and wellness. I
Yeah.
mean, I've cut out on sugar and different things and lost like 40 pounds since December.
Here we'll
But,
teach you how to get a
I
cobra
mean,
and
up and down. Hey, you got that
get
nice
ready
little
with a Bear
warning on
Grylls
there?
knife.
They got a nice
Yes.
photo on there, Michael? Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the age gap relationships and the several channels that say it's okay. Then you got a bunch that say it's not okay. And then these guys are coming over here and they're marrying the women because I said it earlier about some actually can't cut it in the US. There's bad dating, scenes going on in the US and other countries. There's many reasons guys come over here, okay? But one, don't blame it on the women. Don't get over here and blame not finding the right Filipina on a channel. Don't blame the Filipinas about another Filipina. There's like 100 things that can actually go on. But don't y'all think that you're going to end up like Gio, because Gio went through a crap load of women, okay, including married several times and everything else. The same with Old Dog. Old Dog had his own marriage where his woman cheated on him when he got here. He had a lot of bad relationships and he finally found, looks to be the love of his life and everything. It's like a diamond, like finding a diamond in a cat box with a bunch of cat poop, and then all of a sudden you find it when you're scooping one day or something. Sometimes you dump it anyways, you got to keep looking.
There's nothing wrong with going through a lot of women. Again, finding a partner is like kicking tires, buying a car. You have to go through a lot of parking lots and a lot of cars to find the right one.
Just a harsh truth. And the ones that know something's going south are the ones that get butthurt about it. So if their relationships are fine and they're working, we know they do, then they're okay. But call me in about 5-10 years and we'll see how it actually works when Mr. Freedom isn't so free and he's tied in. He's already got a kid and he's not even married yet. So that already tied him into the relationship.
Dang, babe.
My question to Mr. Freedom is cam up and tell me about your relationship.
Okay, well, again,
tell me how long you've known her, how soon you had a baby. I don't want to hear about 3 years before that you were talking to her online and all that. I want to know, like, in a physical presence and then having a kid and all that, how you guys got to know each other, what you guys have in common and everything, and tell me how that's going to work long term.
And again, Freedom, I'm not picking on you, but
And
again,
when you're 78,
what Heidi's saying is,
and
again,
she's 40,
just think
she's
about
going to go through an entire change, and all women go through a change of life. And we'll see how that
weird
works out.
that, again, like, you're in a group of friends and you're talking about age gap relationships, and then you blurt out, "Oh, hey, we're okay," you know.
Hey, Mike,
You know, it's just
hey,
kinda
Michael,
weird.
they got us today in the right form, because there's a lot of days, you know how we are. We're like, and then today I'm like, yeah, not today, devil, not today. We're gonna call it out like it is. A spade is a spade is a spade.
Well, I'm just letting you know, Heidi, you saved a lot of lives today.
Not really.
Yeah,
Go
you
on.
did.
Oh,
You know why? Because I was gonna play Call of Duty and take everybody to school.
there you weren't.
Actually, I was.
Oh my god. Go through some of these comments.
Mark Hall says I'm from Kansas City, but living in Saudi Arabia. My parents are
Oh, okay.
from Clark.
Yeah, I lived in Knoll, Missouri when it was actually smaller. And
Missouri.
then there in the tri-state area, I used to work at the chicken plants and everything. So worked there for over a year. So after I quit my last nursing job at Truman Neurological in Truman, Missouri, then
Okay, now Text World. You want that up or no?
hey, put it up. I'll address
Okay,
Tex World. He's
now,
in here for the good or bad.
it's
I'll
a
address
good
them all
it's
the
a good
same.
point, but be aware again.
Heidi, if you're seeking sympathy by saying you used to work with the disabled, a noble cause. Okay, when did I say that up to now?
Oh no. You said you.
In the past.
Yeah, no, not right.
That was
not
a
right,
long
not
time
right,
ago.
Not right now, right? But that was back then.
Then please disclose you're on a disability benefit.
That was before the disability.
Yourself, which is okay, providing it's valid.
Right, that was before the
Tex World,
disability.
you've always been on the troll side, and the fact that you mention the same thing that comes in on a weekly basis from a bunch of trolls, I'm gonna call you out on that. And so, what's that got to do with anything? I read that guy's description.
Okay, and
What's
again,
that? What does that
that
got to
was
do with me working
that
with
was
disabled and
pre-disability.
collecting
That
disability?
was
And
pre-disability.
does it matter?
No, that's what I mean. That was pre-disability, and again, it doesn't really matter.
None of these
And second,
actually.
again, text world again with all due
Then
respect.
please disclose you're
Um,
on disability. Okay, why? We've disclosed everything
yeah,
down to our
we've
income.
disclosed that, yes, several times.
We say we make
Almost
$300
almost
a
every
month.
life.
I get
Almost every
1,400 in
life.
Social Security.
But what kind of disability?
Yeah, paid disability.
There's again the ones that were, for example, born
And
blind.
does it matter? Do you know how many guys are here on disability benefits? So what's your point, Text World?
Again, for example, if you're born blind, born
What the
crippled,
hell?
you're not supposed to leave the country. Heidi, again,
That's people who don't
was
pay
a
an
working
SSI.
America. Okay, she worked in America for several years
Since I was 16.
before she got disabled. Different story.
Right. No, he's just trying to disclose
No,
because
no,
I
no.
read
And
that
again,
where the guy worked.
now-
and so he's going to mention a job that I talked about a long time ago, which means you've been trolling for a while.
well,
And then you're going to go in to talk about why I've already disclosed it. Not a big deal, but it's kind of weird how you would say something about disclose. And what? We already have. Do you know how many videos we've done on Social Security? And I said that's what I get.
Heidi has mentioned it
We
several
have over
times.
1,000
Heidi has mentioned it
videos,
several times.
and 80
It's not a
to
secret. It's not a
90% we
secret.
don't say nothing about YouTubers or go into anything. It's actually been help. It's been about our life, about us being on budgets and all that. And you.
Now, full disclosure on trolls again. Be aware again. For the most part, we don't block trolls until they got a hand. Now, when I say that, be aware that you could be, not you, Text World, anybody could be a troll in somebody's eyes because that's their belief. You know what I'm saying? Not you, Text World. I'm saying you in general. You could be a troll in somebody's eyes at one point in time. And that's why we don't block people right away. For example, Text World.
All right, here we go. Text World, then just leave. Honestly, I feel that way. Further down, he said, Heidi, I sent you a paid super chat to show support a week ago. I won't be sending another one after being denigrated and a so-called troll. Okay.
Okay, now that's what I'm saying. Now, again, for example, some of you will agree or disagree. This is not our statement.
I mean, you think we're not that channel. Okay, we know that it's been mentioned over and over again about multiple channels that they're living only on that money.
No, we never. We've always been open with Heidi.
If we don't actually make a dime
now, Heidi has
on
lupus
this, we would
and all
still
that.
be doing
She has
this.
several debilitating conditions. Now, she didn't have that. She had that when back then, but it didn't affect her.
It doesn't pertain if I work with disabled people,
again,
nor my
it's a different disability. A lot of people.
It's just the way you say it.
A lot of
that.
people.
So why would you bring those up when
that's what I'm getting at again.
I would just. Why are you?
Because a lot of people don't understand, and trying to make people understand. For example, again, just a concrete example, Mike, MYK Mike. Okay, we don't think he's a troll, but a lot of people think he is. Other YouTubers are classified as trolls. Okay, but other people don't think they are.
You're talking now, and you want to make. I mean, don't send any money. So then, when you're in here running your mouth, and I'm gonna call you out. Why don't you explain why you even mention that? Just part of the conversation that has nothing to do with
it's your
the
presentation. It sounds like
if you're seeking sympathy, I don't care if you think it's the truth or the actual truth.
He was seeking validation for you working with disabled while you are disabled.
Never said it was a noble cause. It was a paycheck.
No.
Might have been good at it, but it was a paycheck.
Forget the noble cause. That's not what he meant.
And Text World, you've been in our room long enough. Why don't you you don't have to come on and face. Why don't you just come on in audio?
You can come on in live. But what I'm saying is again, first,
what did it have to do with anything?
First off,
we've already disclosed everything.
Somebody could be a troll
in
somebody's own opinion. Again, for example, Mike, I don't consider a troll. A lot of people think Mike is a troll, MYK Mike, but some people don't. Same thing with other vloggers. in their eyes they're trolls, but they're not. But what I'm saying is, now,
Everybody has their form of entertainment, coverage, what they do. They all switch around and all that.
well, that's not what I'm saying, babe. Again, but again, Tex Roll's just saying is, if you're disabled, why did you work? And that's you. We already explained that. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, not everybody's disabled
How
their whole
it's the
entire life.
presentation.
You do realize, here's something else. We have people that come in here, or they leave comments, or they send emails talking about both me and George's work history. That's all you guys have, or calling me big or making fun of George for different
Oh, it doesn't bother me
things.
for the
But
most
you
part.
guys
No.
think that actually gets to us. So you do realize that the nursing job and the jobs that we had were quite some time ago. My last job, and I'll reiterate, was at a television studio. And I did work with celebrities, and I was the head of my department. Didn't never say it was IT. I said that I was there with the computer support. I used to fix computers over the phone, tech support, starting with Windows 95. And I was good at it. When that department and the jobs were sent overseas here, like the Philippines and India and everything, then they dissolved that department. They promised a lifetime tech support, and they reneged on it. And it left me and two other people that was sent to customer accounts. Okay. And I was the head of the department. And then I also worked over in the tower. Okay. But it was in St. Petersburg, Florida. We never hit any of that crap. Okay. But these jobs were quite some time ago. We didn't say it was 4 years ago or 3 years ago. Like the nursing. I think the nursing was, I think that was like 96. It was so long ago. We
Well,
have children that are older than our careers
like I
almost.
said
Come
in our
on.
last live, I even says that there's things I couldn't do that I was able to do 2 years ago, and it's no different.
So
Really.
then please disclose you're on disability benefits yourself. It would have nothing to
Not
do
the
with
disability that
my
you're
disability
aware of.
started in 2010.
Not what you're thinking. Not what you're thinking.
You want to talk about my cancer? You want to talk about my lupus, my asthma,
Right. I mean,
all the different things that I have that have qualified me for my disability that I've earned? Then please, once again,
yeah.
let's
I mean,
ham up.
I'm not disabled, but what I'm saying is there's definitely stuff
We have a bunch of new
I
people
couldn't
that
do
haven't
that
heard
was able
this.
to do 2
And if
years
another
ago.
YouTube channel wants to talk about me, or if another person, that's fine, but get your facts straight.
Well,
And if you want to be butthurt and not send stickers, or people don't, we're not like going to crumble. We have our own money coming in. And if not, then George can go get a job. He's a Filipino citizen. He actually, this is where his family is. And I have a family support line back in the US and here. You guys are some hating because we put out some facts. You guys hate because we open up those other vloggers that have been feeding you bullcrap dreams. That's what's been going on.
now in Heidi's defense, as far as Text World is concerned, just be aware again, Text World again. There are some times that you do make statements that are kind of
Which is fine. People are allowed to
no,
call
no.
it.
Again,
I mean,
that's what I mean. But we never blocked you because again, it's
and
because
now
again,
because
everybody says something that sometimes, again, like I said, even your best friend or your wife or your girlfriend or your best, again, you don't always agree. But sometimes I go like, what the? But then I was like, okay, let's move on. I'm just saying. You say more. I mean,
hey, Michael,
again,
what you got to say?
yeah, with all due respect, again, certain
I'm just
people
picking on you,
say
Michael.
more offensive things than others. That's all I'm saying.
Do I
I
need
don't
to do
let
my Mark
people.
Thornton impression? How about we really pick on YouTubers?
Doc Emmons says you're on fire today. You're on
Yeah,
fire.
Thank you.
On fire. Doc Emmons says you're on fire.
what I would say is let people talk, let them have their opinions, and never let their opinions bring you down to their level. Because generally, when people like trolls try to say things, well, I actually made a comment. So basically, what I just was about to say.
Now, Steve, I wish, man. I wish.
Right.
I wish. Man, where's Snoop? Where you need him? Snoop! Oh wait.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Right. He usually pops up out of nowhere. Steve says it's much more quiet in UAE. Well, it is for reasons
Hey, Prince
because you
World.
can't do anything over there. You're pretty much in lockdown nonstop.
Hi, this is Dave. I believe that was who was in our stream yesterday, right?
Hey,
He's like, damn, Heidi, having a Karen moment, lighten up. Well, why don't you come on and enlighten me like you did yesterday and actually tell me why I'm having a Karen moment?
huh?
Why? Because I'm being
What
truthful?
happened yesterday?
Wasn't that hi, this is Dave in our room?
No, that's
Was that a different Dave? Okay, I might be wrong on that. There's a couple Daves. But either way, yeah, you just said, damn, lighten up, having a Karen moment. That's
Mike.
not a
Mike Ross
Karen
says
moment because
just
I'm
blame
being
it
truthful.
on Michael Johnson. Just blame it on Michael Johnson.
Blame it on Michael. It's okay for guys to have a kin moment, huh? It's okay for the others to pop off or the other things that actually go on different social media platforms.
Oh dang!
Ah,
Dogam
Ken.
says I'm still on bed with Miss Boo Hag. Get on the fan.
There's your ice cream bed.
Oh no, that's okay. That's called ice scramble, or what's that snowball, as it were. But these guys, this particular guy rides by the house. It's supposed to be shaved ice. Now, when it's kind of like when you guys get shaved Italian ice, think about it this way. He has big giant chunks of ice in his shaved ice. So it's not really shaved. So I stopped buying from him because I don't like to eat ice. Like I don't want to.
Oh, it's the big chips.
Yeah, I'm like I don't like that. I want smooth shaved ice. Brent's World says, "Hey, Heidi and George, hope you have a
Hey, good
wonderful day."
morning.
Hey, AJ, how you doing? Now, what? What? No, no, no. He's just which part? What? There's nothing.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
it?
there's nothing there. Really. Um. Oh yeah, Michael. AJ's asking if there's whooping cough in your area.
I've seen all around, like Trace, Trace, Desmarinas, and other places in Cavite.
Yeah,
There
it's
were notices,
rising.
but here in Tanza, there's no notice. But I'm staying home. I'm not going to the mall. I'm not I'm not gonna try to expose myself to it. So
Yeah, no. I actually said yesterday to Heidi. Actually, we were talking about it. I said, I told Heidi, I said, Heidi, I'm not patting myself in the back, but just so you know, I probably get sicker more than you do because
No, he did.
because I'm the one out there. Yeah, now there's whooping cough.
Yeah, yeah, there's a bunch of things actually going around. We still have gifts to go take over to our God baby. And George is like, because I was going to go out yesterday. He said, no, not right now.
Well, for instance, Heidi says, let's go to Easter Sunday church. And I said,
Oh,
no,
yeah, Easter Mass
because
today.
even my family says, don't go to church, George.
Yeah, so you can attend
Go
online.
online, attend online.
Right.
It's safer that way. Right now, there's a lot of diseases that you don't want to be part of. And I was like, huh, didn't think about that.
We'll address a few of them. Yes, the topic is age gap relationship. Like I said, this is a free live. Here's a funny thing, and I'm gonna go into this. Okay, I'm gonna go into
I
this
just read your private
because
message there,
how many
Michael.
YouTubers that you all watch, and we know who you guys watch, will give a topic and they never get around to the topic ever. It's set there, but it doesn't mean that the actual topics are actually going to be covered. And we did cover it for a few minutes. We've put up for people to come in and talk about it. I've said my piece on it. We'll see how they last long term. You're in a cozy little coma right now, and I hope you guys stay there forever. I hope those relationships last forever. But all of you at your age, and we kind of know your age groups, you guys know the relationships you've been in. You all been in the ones that you said that were going to last forever. How's that working out for you? So the truth and reality is relationships are hard as they are. Add a cultural difference and add even by 10 years, you guys are going to have a hard time. I speak of experience because I dated a foreigner and he was, let's see, he was about 35 years older than me. Okay. It's so I know how that is. And there was a slight cultural difference because he was Canadian, but there were still some differences because the province he was in Canada. But the age, there is big differences. I mean, big differences from when he went to bed or the type of food, or there's all kinds of things that can actually change. And I mean that in going to bed. It really made a difference. He's ready to go to bed at 7 o'clock. And it's like I was all wound up by 7 o'clock. So it's like, and we know those women have a big boost of energy. They're going to. We were just talking about that yesterday. Guys that end up with bad backs because of it and bad knees and injuries. And, it seems cute in the beginning to do a bunch of running around. But we've said this and we've heard people repeat what we've said, that a lot of these guys did not come here to run all over Hell's Half Acre with their woman. I mean, you'll do a bunch in the beginning because you're officially retired and all that, and you're doing that. But if that was your retirement in your country, United States, Canada, Australia, you guys think about your grandparents and your parents. They didn't go running all over the place. You pretty much just lived a chilled out life. There's nothing wrong with being active. We're not saying sit sedentary. Everybody has their ideal. But when you get into an age gap relationship, there's going to be problems. That's what this discussion was meant to be about. There was a big one yesterday. So being that was the main thing, and George was going to break down that live stream, which I broke down the part that we had yesterday as a re-release tonight, or in should be about another 12 hours. But I told George, I said, let's just do a live stream. We didn't say Happy Easter to people, and we figured there'd be people up and everything. So, is that you, Go-Go? Shake your head.
Is that a puppy?
It's a puppy. Oh, all right, let Go-Go in.
Yeah, now,
And I'm counting on you to be rowdy, Go-Go.
now Mark Hall says UAE quiet. You should see Saudi. That could mean a lot of things.
I think they were talking in their cat scratch fever, right? Yeah.
Testing
no,
1, 2, 3.
Huh?
Yeah, I can hear you. No, UAE quiet. No, Saudi has a lot
shake
of
your head. Yes, Go-Go.
interesting things going on.
I'm
Some
shaking.
military and some.
You're shaking? I can hear it. Do it again.
Alright, so
Ready?
the first thing I
was just shaking your head.
first thing I want to say
My little
is
Abla Gandula or whatever. That's my little gator brain in there. Hey, stop, puppy.
Well,
first of all, I want to. Can you hear me? First of all, I want to congratulate Michael for at least coming up on the panel, because most of the people in the chat don't even come up at all. That's the reality of it. And
Right.
the second thing that I want to say is that half of the chat has never even stepped foot in the Philippines. Now, it was only yesterday on my show when I proved someone that's been in the community for 7 years has never even visited the Philippines. So there's a lot of people want to make chat and just come cause a bit of trouble and get some sort of social out of it. But they should be going somewhere else for that, because this is a Philippine channel, right? So I understand everyone can't be in the Philippines, but you could have at least been there once, right? I'm talking about people, which is a lot of them, which never even been. Not once. So
No, I agree with you on that, Go-Go, 100%, because we've probably said that a dozen times about people that actually are. And it's funny, we've been in a lot of countries, and I've been in a lot of countries, and it seems to be that the Philippines has one of those weird communities. And now with YouTube and the pandemic, they really doubled down, as far as going into these rooms. But Go-Go's familiar with our channel. I mean, we went through stages of doing the travel and doing all the expat help, the online help. We were constantly from morning to night helping people during the pandemic. We were here during that helping people. And soon as somebody jumped in a bikini with an age gap relationship, it's like their numbers go way up and ours go way down, and then we're called haters. And when we spill the truth or spin the truth, what's going on
Yep.
in the Philippines, then they want to pick on me. And it's really rough as a, as an American female here. And it's like we hardcore have grown this channel slowly. And if people don't want to stick around, I mean, it's like, I'm sorry. We're not going to stop our channel. We had people that said they didn't want you in the
You know
room.
what's funny though, Heidi? Who would you be stopping it for? I mean, I just told you 50% are complete fakes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
as if you're
just
going to
it.
stop it for them
So-
anyway.
Right. Correct. So, or they jump around a ton. So even if they're fake names, fake accounts, they go from one channel to another channel to another channel and sometimes they start troubles. Sometimes they'll sit and talk about the other channels. It's just kind of, and that people are people.
There's guys that go around the Philippine channels offering dating advice.
Mhm.
And when you find out who they are, they're obese. They've never been on a date. You've really got to watch who you're talking to online. You've really got to watch it because, that's add on another 15%. Now we're at 65%, right? So it's not much left that have any connection left to the Philippines in reality.
Mm-hmm. And I think we realized that a long time ago when we were spending tons of time on keeping up with the Philippine expat stuff, like as far as the rules, the laws. We spent, God, hours upon hours making sure we had correct information and making sure this. And then finally, I just told Georgia, said, let's just start doing us. And what we want to do is do these live streams, talk to people, and the things that we've been doing the last few years. And yeah, we still actually do it. But no, I agree with you on that. What's your actual take? I know we were talking yesterday about the age gap relationship, and I was actually saying my piece on that, with the age difference, the cultural difference, and then people adjusting to the Philippines. It's, the chances of their relationship surviving could be very slim.
Okay, well, first off, again, regardless of age or anything, a good healthy gauge of a relationship as far as death of a relationship on average is 10 years. I'm not, again, whether you agree with him or not, do the math. It's still a statistic. Next, age gap relationships. Does it make it shorter or longer? Well, there is no definitive answer because everybody's different. You can, for example, find. Remember, I told you that I said the problem with age gap relationship. Not only you're dealing with a cultural distance, you're dealing with a subcultural difference. And also, again, you won't be able to relate a lot of things to your partner. However, be also aware that there are some rare examples. No, I know. There are rare examples where you can come up with, for example, I'm not saying who's younger again. If you're the expat and then you find a younger Filipino or Filipino, there are rare examples that you'll come across this gem and they can relate to everything you say, even if it's before their time. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, AJ saying go-go is big world cinema. No, there's no. And that's twice this week we've seen people mention big world cinema and go-go. I don't know where you're coming up with that.
No, it's just speculation.
Yeah, no. That's kind of funny.
AJ says that nothing against expats that if you haven't been in the Philippines yet, but don't take every vlogger's word as truth. No, this is very important.
Yeah.
Do your research as well and from your own decisions coming here or not. And again, I'm not discrediting or attacking Filipinos or Filipinas. Be also aware that your Filipino or Filipina may have limited knowledge or education. I'm not doubting anybody. What I'm saying is be aware that not everybody's created equal. It doesn't mean they're Filipino. They know everything in the Philippines. It's kind of like the US. Do you know how many Americans don't know American history, basic American history? A lot. Same thing in the Philippines. What I'm saying is don't assume because somebody's from China, they know everything about China. That's not how it works, guys.
It says in many cultures, an age gap of 1 to 3 years is considered ideal. But if it's under a 10-year, it'll have a better chance of surviving. Anything above that 10-year difference, there could be a train wreck.
Well, of course.
And then add in the culture and the move, because a lot of these guys are actually moving here. So there's a major adjustment to be made.
I mean, be also aware that the age gap is also somewhat of like it's, what's the word? Organic. And what I mean by that is the age gap is acceptable depending on the age itself. Think about it this way. I mean, if you're 30 and the age gap is 20, obviously the age gap is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? But you given the exact same age gap, you're 50, then it's somewhat acceptable. What I'm saying is be aware that it doesn't mean you can't say, "Oh, we're only 15 years." That's not bad, right? Oh well, it depends on how old you are. And again, that scale slides. Yeah.
Heidi, ask what you're asking me again.
Oh, I forgot what it was.
Huh?
I think you was asking me what I was asking you before. Yeah, I forgot. Did you catch it?
You're getting old timers, Heidi? I think you asked me about age gap. You asked my opinion. So
that too, because I was just saying the 1 to 3 years and 10 would be that, and then throw in the cultural difference and the I'm telling you, reality hits you hard when you get here. And it's kind of hard to shed that Western mentality. It really is. When you're when you're used to living a certain way, even if it's middle class, like I was raised most of my life, or adult life, that it's hard. It's really hard. Even if you had this and you had that, it'd be like asking a Filipino to give up rice, a rice cooker, no more pan sets, stay away from Jollibee.
Bye.
Hey, that's what I told George yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. We got into a fight like 3 months ago.
Most of the people say I don't like.
George's Ginto, and I dumped George's Ginto out, right? And I said, next time we get in a fight and you're not listening, I said, I'm gonna dump your rice out. And George goes, that's it. He goes, I want a divorce.
I prefer the pan set that has the shrimps mixed in. But anyway, back onto the topic. So my opinion, so what's acceptable? I don't really know what's acceptable. But in terms of my own opinion, it's very different to George's and Heidi's. Because for me, I don't even put an age on it. I don't put any limit on it. As long as it's legal, I don't care what the age gap is. And the only strings that I associate to that is whether it's genuine or not. In other words, if the guy is supporting the girl and they're happy. And that might shock some people because I'm comfortable seeing 50-year-old age gaps. I'm quite comfortable with that. Which is, for some people, they're like, what's that 20-year-old doing with that 70-year-old? I don't have any issue with it. I've seen it. I've seen them have kids together. I got no issue with it at all. And most people probably won't agree with me, but that's my stance on it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's actually...
Well, as long, like we said, as long as one, again, that it's legal, like Go says,
them are all good
and
points.
then two, as long as it's real. Now, just so you know, when I said again, remember when I said it, the same age, you don't gauge an age gap if you have a problem with age gaps. You don't gauge age gaps by the years apart. It like I said, remember the legality. We already stated, like, George, don't hit on 30-year-old that wants a 50-year-old old cougar. But remember that if that 50-year-old is a 30-year-old, you know what I'm saying, then, or younger, then that's when the problem comes in. Again, it's all legality, and also be aware that, again, if an 18-year-old, I'm not saying I'm against it. What I'm saying is It's when you go to the younger crowd, and then you have
I don't have issue
older
with that
person.
either. You know how I see that,
I understand
George?
that. No,
See,
no, no.
that's to them to work out.
I don't have
They
a
can
problem with
work
that.
that out.
However, be aware that's when people start thinking of predatory thoughts, meaning they
Oh,
think that
judgment.
that's
Yeah. Now I'm
correct.
following.
Correct. Again, I'm not against that. However, as long as the intention is real, unfortunately, first off, forget age gap right now. For now, forget age gap.
And that can go, one second, that can go for both their intentions, because if it's the
Right.
Filipina that's 19 and she gets into it for the wrong reasons, things can fall
Well,
apart.
what I'm saying is,
If it's money intention or vice versa, or
forget age gap. Usually, and I say usually, most of the older person who wants to have relations with a younger person, usually they are predatory though. And I'm not talking about like as in Chester. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they
George,
want
I wouldn't
younger.
say that. George, I
No, no, no.
wouldn't say that.
here, Gogo, I got a question for you. What do you think of Tim K's relationship and him meeting Chrissy at 18?
That was a fact.
Okay, I'll answer that. So the funny thing about that relationship is I don't really like that relationship much, but if I was to take someone much older than Tim K with the meeting her 18, they're quite have a quite calm, relaxed and very healthy relationship. So to use him as the example is probably not good because it depends on the people that are engaged in that
Right. It
relationship.
depends on the people.
Anyway, I'm going to listen to this, but I've got to step down. I've got stuff to do, but I'll listen, all right?
Okay.
And you can bring others up.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. All right. And like I said, I didn't mean it as in predatory, as in what I mean by predatory is it's not. It's more on taking advantage, not so much as illegal stuff. I'm talking about a, by a lot of times more guys than women, although women do it too. They want a younger partner so they can groom them, shape them, and make them behave the way they want. That's what I was getting at. Not predatory as in illegal stuff. I'm talking about predatory as in they want somebody they can manipulate.
Right, and that's why I mentioned Tim K with a younger woman. I didn't mean that in such a bad way. I'm just saying she was really young. And that was the one relationship that popped in my head. So when you said that, sorry, so I didn't mean to cut you off.
Right now, also be aware that here's the thing: is in such relationships, it's possible one is 100%, meaning they're actually in it for the love, and yet the other one is in it for the manipulation. And obviously, guess who's gonna lose? You know what I'm saying? Because they love that person wholeheartedly, they will allow themselves to be manipulated and controlled and then be molded into something in the end they're not going to want.
Yeah, well, eventually they'll grow up. That would be my concern personally for possibly Tim K, even if they're getting along right now. Eventually, Chrissy will hit 30 years old and may have a mind of her own. So, I mean, I'm talking about beyond that.
That's when it breaks.
So, I'm just saying.
That's when the ball breaks.
Somebody further down mentioned some question about whether Chrissy was even 18 when he took her from the family home. So, can't say. But it's, I don't know, that would be my concern is long term for the age gap relationship. So if things are going smooth and everything, then it's something to actually think about. I don't know if guys think about them long term when there's that, when they're really young like that. Like you said, dating material might be one thing because we got into that age thing.
No. A girlfriend and
girlfriend,
wife material, two different things.
and then long term, But I guess it's better that she is Filipina versus a westernized woman or something, because that really could turn out really rough.
Right.
So but she gets half.
Right. And what may be bad for one thing may be good for another. For example, this will apply to age gap relationships too. Again, like I said, somebody No, it's not Michael. It was Big Papa. Big Papa says that if I was gonna have an age gap relationship, it would be with a mistress. And again, it depending. I mean, first off, again, basically, not everybody will agree with that, and I don't agree with that. However, again, but
Yeah.
my translation is again, what I'm saying is the cray cray girlfriends are the best girlfriends ever. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But
Dusty
they're not.
Bryan.
They won't make good wives.
Dusty Bryan is in the house. He says, "Are we saying that Tim K is a groomer?" I'm personally not. I just think possibly a younger Chrissy may actually grow up later. Not saying that she's not mature now, but I know what I went through as a woman, and so
No, we're not
in
saying that.
relationship ages, so they definitely change and everything. So
Oh dang, Geechee, that's a little rough. That's a little rough, Geechee. I don't think I can put that up there.
Oh boy! Hey, Bruce is announced. Put all Bruce up.
Oh, hey Bruce.
Hey Bruce, what's up, Bruce?
Hey.
Tim K. Manny C says Tim
So-
K is not an example for an expat or should not be.
Hey Bruce, who do you think your haters are?
Right.
Well, I'm not blaming what's his name? The one guy you had on Expat John. The British
Hey,
guy.
Dave.
Hey, Heidi. Hey,
John.
George.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
How you guys doing tonight?
Doing
What's up,
good.
man?
What's up?
I just I wanted to talk about
Sorry,
age gap relationships just a little bit. I don't think that most people don't understand that once you get to the Philippines, which I've been there 3 times, like you don't see tons and tons of big age gap relationships. I was just there for 2 months. Then I was there for 2 months previous times, and I just didn't see a lot of big age gap relationships while I was there. Like I think what's happening is people's getting on these online dating sites and they're like making a lot of matches with 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds. And I think because they're making these matches, they think once they get to the Philippines that they're going to be able to meet all these women, right? I think that what they don't understand is most of them are fake people, right? They're not going to meet you once you get there, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's
so
true.
yeah. So I just think that it's not as common as people thinks it is. Like I mean, if you go to the mall, you'll see, like, at least for me, you'd see an expat with a 30 or 40-year-old. I don't really see a lot of 65-year-old men with 18 and 19-year-olds in the Philippines. I didn't see it. I've been there 3 times.
You're not out in the province, David.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it happens. Yeah, it's probably, where there's more poor people and stuff like that. But
what part of the Philippines, Dave?
I've been to Manila, Bohol,
Okay,
and then Dumaguete.
Okay.
And in Dumaguete, in Dumaguete in particular, I did not see a lot of big age gap relationships. They just didn't exist.
I mean, Ground Zero, when they had that get together, there were hundreds there, and there was definitely age gaps.
Well, you probably didn't go to Ground Zero.
I've been to Ground Zero many times.
Oh, yeah.
You do see a lot of the vloggers are in big age gap relationships. Yes, I will say that. But outside of that,
we're just not talking about like people that just arrive on a regular basis. When the embassy arrived there just recently, there were people there registering their kids. They're married. They were doing all kinds of things there. And the guys that were all lined up were, most of them, there was an age gap for sure. And we see him here in Angeles City. I see him in the mall. I see him in the grocery store. Everywhere I actually go, they're actually here.
Yeah, see,
they're in different areas.
That's what I don't understand about, like, me. I could go there and meet an 18-year-old too. I just don't understand why a man would want to do that, right?
No,
like for me, my girlfriend, she's 31, for example, and we're just a few years apart. I'm sorry.
It's Sizzly, right?
Yeah, Stephanie. Yeah.
Stephanie. Well, I don't call. You know what? See, I don't like calling people their names like that. I know she does
No,
that.
it's
I don't like
cool.
doing that. You know what I mean? I just don't like doing that.
No,
That's
it's
just
cool.
me, dude.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So yeah, I've chose to put my age limit at 30. I won't go below 30. I've got a daughter that's 21, and so I can't see me dating somebody around my daughter's age. Now, Heidi and George, I have a question for you two. Most of your viewers are 50 plus, right? I'm sure your analytics probably show
40
you.
to about 40 to 7. We have a small percentage, probably about 10-15% that are under that.
But most are older. So like,
Yes,
and
40 to 70.
most of them are, I'm assuming, are in big age gap relationships, right? So do you feel like that you're alienating part of your viewership by, I'm just asking, like, because most of them are in big
Well,
age gap
Well-
relationships.
well,
Just a
let me-
question.
Let me answer that. The ideal of YouTube, even per our manager, is to cover different things. So like we
Right.
said, we've done everything, and we still kind of do. We show our personal life, we do restaurants, we show ourselves at the mall, we've shown inside of our apartment, we've showed rentals, we went through the rental thing. We still, if a good one comes up, we've got about 15 good interviews, which include some big people. We've been on big people's channels and been interviewed. I don't feel we I mean, is that your question? Do we isolate people in age gap by talking about it?
No, we're not alienating. No, I don't think so. Because again, for the
It's
most
forever
part,
changing in YouTube.
if the ones
Yeah.
that do get alienated, it's because then they know there's something wrong.
I think
I got
people
you.
like
That's fair.
Old
That's fair.
Dog that always talks about the age gap relationship, shows an age gap relationship. I
Mhm.
think he's isolated or
Yeah.
alienating part of his, what he covers. I mean, in the
Yeah.
beginning, nobody forgets that Old Dog, Geo, and some of these others used to have these scantily dressed women on their channel and
Yeah.
all the different things, and they've been called out for it and everything. And now Old Dog's mostly doing interviews now. He's into being what I would call the family puppy man and all that. So all the channels evolve in one way or another. But I
Well-
think that would be an ideal of something being isolated, because
Well-
he does tend to, talk a lot about it, and then budgets and all that. And I think a lot of his people are.
Yeah, and for example, again, a lot of our viewers are also decent people. And what I'm saying is, for example, there's one in our panel, Michael is right there.
Who?
Yeah, who's that Michael Johnson guy? I don't know. So that Michael Johnson guy is this age gap relationship? Oh my gosh. No,
Hello.
for example, I'm
The
pretty
working
sure
class
he
hero.
knows that we're not talking about his relationship, because even though he's in an age gap relationship, he's secure. He knows the kind of woman he has. So I know a lot of our viewers are like, no, I'm not. They're not talking about me. However,
I think
there are certain people who feel like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
the reason why we're
yeah.
doing this is to educate people.
Right. If
Right,
we talk
yeah.
about certain topics, it's mostly because there are a lot of guys, especially during the pandemic, they're like, I'm going to go there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then that's why we actually cover it, or when it becomes a heavy topic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, how you
Hey,
doing?
what's going on, Alex?
I've got a rule. My rule is this: once a woman turns 30, she can date an 80-year-old. It doesn't bother me, right? Now, when an 18-year-old dates a 60-year-old, yeah, that's kind of cringe, right? So, but that's just the number in my head. She reaches 30, by then she's went through 12 years of adulthood. You could say 29, you could say 31, but I think 30 for me is a good number. She's went through a lot by then in her life, and she can make her own decisions. She's no longer a child, so for me that the cutoff is 30.
And I
But
think
yeah,
it can be exhausting for the men that are in retirement. We were discussing the being exhausting, whether, they're learning thing, teaching, having patience. You don't want to fall into that daddy category. There's all kinds of things that I think about psychologically breaking down that type of relationship. Or, and a lot of people are like, well, that's just Heidi judging and all that. No, it's because I'm over 50 years old and I've seen a lot in my lifetime, and I'm, a woman, and I've been in those type of relationships, and it's just like I start thinking about everything, just how exhausting. Like, it's even been posed at me at one point, if George passes away, would I date a Filipino here, and live here? And the answer is yes. And no, I wouldn't date a Filipino. I'd stay here. But, it's like, I don't know. I couldn't see dating an older Filipino. I just wouldn't date at all.
Well, here's the thing.
But a younger one, I couldn't see because they're not mature at a certain age. There's a lot.
Well, the psychology is, and again, I'm not picking on
It can be
anybody.
exhausting.
When Heidi says exhausting, she's not necessarily talking about physical. She's talking about psychological.
No, probably, because I don't want to be
I said not
hitting the sack
necessarily.
8 times
Not-
a day. I'm going to
not
be lazy about
necessarily.
that. Twice a
Um,
day I'm okay with, but it's like I gotta like back George down about 9 times a day. I'm like, okay, it's okay a few times, but come on, dude. That's exhausting, man.
Right. Well, again, I'm not talking about the physical part. I'm talking about the mental part. And what I mean by that is be aware that to most people, I say most, you training an adult, let's say they are of legal age, okay? Again, I'm not picking on anybody. Let's say they are of legal age. To most people, training an adult is exhausting. It's actually harder than training a child because an adult already has some pre-built notions,
And there's a
habits and
cultural
everything.
difference.
Yes, they have pre-built, everything's already there. Now you have to remold everything. And
you'll probably go through things like that. People don't think about the little things, but think about like if they, put the cord on the vacuum cleaner the wrong way or just toss it in the corner.
Well,
that may irritate somebody. Or what if they set the there's so many things that can go south, and then the guys are like,
Right,
can you
and-
do this the
and
right
that's
way?
where I was getting at.
And it could really cause a
Again,
break.
Heidi and
It's-
George, I'm going to piss somebody off right now. Just and if they get mad, oh damn well. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Sorry.
Okay. David just said about like his daughters in his, in her 20s. Okay. I'm just gonna say this. You guys come over here. I get it. It's okay. It's fine. Mike, sir, please don't just don't take it wrong. And I'm not talking about you, but you guys that are in your 70s and 80s, picking up 18-year-olds and 20s, that is like your granddaughter or your daughter. And if you're not doing that in America or any of these other countries, that you wouldn't be picking up any 18-year-olds, okay, or 20, it's disgusting to me. That's my personal opinion. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging Alex. Alex, his 25-year, that's fine. That's his business. It's not mine. I'm not judging him, but when you're 75, 80 years old, and you're trying to bang an 18-year-old and saying that's going to be your wife, nonsense. That girl is going to leave you once your money runs out.
Right. Now that's actually Bruce actually made a good point, and that's actually part of where I was heading at. Again, like I said earlier, that most of
Can I
you
say
will
something
not
real quick?
want to train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened?
He's on a delay, I think.
He's got a lag.
So,
Oh, okay,
hey, Bruce, I got a question for you. I'm not trying to get into an argument with you, but you say you don't call it judging. What do you call it? Criticizing or
Personal preference.
My opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
that is judging, right? When you say that is disgusting, this is the way I see it, you actually judging people, right? I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. I'm not saying that, but it's like, I just find it odd that you say, I'm not judging people, but you guys are disgusting.
Are you 75 or 80?
I'm not saying you're talking about me. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. What I'm asking you is, when you said, I'm not judging, but that is judging.
Okay.
You're passing
That's my
judgment,
opinion.
right?
Yeah.
If you're judging, you're judging. Just be honest. Be like, I'm judging you. I'm just being like, you saying you're not judging, but you are passing judgment. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're talking about me, and I don't care if you are. I'm just asking.
My opinion, but yeah, I mean, I guess it does work that way. It does work both ways. So judging, but it's my opinion.
I just want to be clear for myself. I have friends that are in big age gap relationships. I have
Say it.
no issue. I have no issue at all with anybody in a big age gap relationship. I will not belittle anybody that's in a big age gap relationship unless it's like illegal or something, or if it's a 18-year-old with a 90-year-old. But I'm not going to belittle somebody for that. That's for the good man above to do that. That's not my job. And as long as they're a good human being, they're a good person, I will drink a beer with them. I will drink a coffee with them. So there's no judgment in me whatsoever. I put my limit at 30. Somebody else's limit could be 22. That's on them. I don't judge them for that. I don't think negatively about that. I just, for me, my age is 30 and up. And I just wanted to make that clear. I do not hate on anybody in a big age gap relationship.
Yeah, well, yeah, good point, Dave. And again, now I'm not saying, okay, Dave says again his 30-year-old benchmark is somewhat acceptable to most. And again, some of you may agree with it, some of you may not. Also be aware, also Bruce also said that some of these 70-year-olds, if they don't do it in their own country, why do they do it here in the Philippines? And that's when he said he's disgusting. Now, here's the thing. I'm just answering what Bruce says. Is the thing is about these 70-year-olds that do date 18-year-olds. That's basically what Bruce is saying. He's more specific in his words if you read what he's talking about.
That's
Now,
cringe.
be aware that these people won't be able to do this in their own country in the first place, regardless of, again, whether your opinion or not. The reality is most of these guys won't be able to date younger women, even 20 years younger than they are, for the most part. And again, I'm not passing judgment on anybody. And
It's just a
again,
fact.
it's just a fact that these people come to the Philippines because they can reel
Yeah.
in fish faster than they can in the US or UK or Australia.
Very true.
Yeah, I just
Very
put
true.
a meme up on our channel
Right.
yesterday, and it says, when you're a white guy and can't find a partner
I agree
with your
100%.
minimum wage
Uh,
and 3,500 in savings in your country, I go to Philippines, and it shows Barack with a bunch of luggage and stuff on his back.
I just want to add one more dynamic to this. Okay. I don't think a lot of people don't sit and think about how these big age gap relationships can sometimes affect the family in the Philippines in a positive way. What do I mean by that? Okay. I have known personally of situations where family was about to lose a farm, their complete livelihood, that they had gotten a loan. Oh, I don't know how you guys call it there, but basically to pay for some medical bills. The foreigner expat boyfriend stepped in to save the farm, right? That's just an example, right? But like these situations that we know are, by and large part, she's dating the man 50 years older than her because she's in extreme poverty, right? I think everybody can agree with that, and everybody can be okay with that, right? So she can.
I'm not okay with the guys that actually basically they are giving them money knowing that they're marrying the
I
family.
didn't say I was
It's,
okay. I didn't say I was okay with it. I'm just saying that's what's happening,
yeah,
right?
no, I'm just
I never said I was okay with it. I'm just
no,
saying
I'm just
that's
saying that I
yeah,
think it's off.
yeah. I'm just saying what's happening is in these big age gap relationships. I think, I don't know, I could be wrong. I think sometimes the parents may even, hey, find you an older foreigner. We're in trouble here. We need
And
to
they
eat.
do they not, George?
We-
No,
we-
some
like-
do
Some
groom
do.
their kids to
And
actually do that.
and so what I'm saying is
It's a
everybody,
lot
you
of
know,
poor
blames
countries.
everybody blames the expat, right? It takes two to tango, folks. It takes two to tango.
That is true.
And if she's 18, it's legal. So we can't sit here and like you take a 50-year-old expat, right? He dates a 23-year-old or a 25-year-old, like in Alex's position, right? We can't sit here and demean this man because I'm sure he has helped her family. I'm sure that he has made a big impact on their life, right? So we have to look at the other side of it too, like the positive impacts that it's giving to the Filipinas family.
Mhm.
And also it always takes two to tango, folks.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
And
you're right.
I'm myself here. We all have opinions, all right? Just like we all have, assholes. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging you, Alex, at all. I'm talking about somebody 75 or older. Okay. Your woman is good with you. You're good with him, like you said yesterday.
Thoren.
It's none of my business. But I am not judging you. I am judging the person that is 75 to 80 years old because I've seen it. I've personally seen it myself from 2015 on, and I don't agree with it, and I'll stick to that. If you ain't got no damn morals in your life, that's your problem, not mine.
Personal preference. We have what do we got? Philippines and beyond.
Yeah, we have
DV8's in
DV8
the
and
house,
Philippines and beyond.
and looks. Hey, Mike, you still looking
Hey.
white there?
What's up?
Right?
Thought
Did
you were
put
doing
your-
something
did you
about
put your
that.
perfume on today, MYK? Smell
Huh?
good for
Oh,
men?
there you go.
There, much
Oh,
better, much
there
better.
you are.
Much better.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, you look like Edward from Twilight for a
Oh yeah, no,
second.
hey
Hey
just gotta-
Heidi, hey George, hi
Hey,
Mike, how
what's
you
up,
guys
Mike?
doing?
DV8.
What's up?
All right,
What
all
is
right.
So, Mike, let me ask you,
Man,
what
so
do you
I just
think
felt
of
I had
age
to.
gap relationships?
What's up?
What do you think of the age gap relationships here in the Philippines?
I was trying to listen to a few things that people were saying right before I logged on, but here's my thing, right? Like I if it's two consenting adults, okay, if it's two consenting adults, then I'm not really gonna, I'm not gonna be going all crazy. Let them be, right?
Right.
That's my opinion. But for me wise, I will cringe a little. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna say, whatever, do you. I will cringe on anybody that deals with a woman who's less than 21 years of age. If you start going above like a 30-year age gap. But just because I cringe, that does not mean I'm like, what, that's, whatever. We're allowed to cringe a little bit. The thing that somebody brought up early on today, it's like, well, you're not going to be able to get a girl that young in your country, right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
reality
George
is, that is the reality. For I'll even say 99.9% of the guys that ends up with a young girl in the Philippines or Thailand or Colombia or whatever. So if a person's willing to admit, because there's some guys who look, I can get a girl in the US that's that young, prove it. But more than likely,
Right.
they're not going to be able to do it. So if that is the truth for you, okay, and I'm literally talking, what I'm talking about here is 30 years plus age gap. That's where I'm going here. 30 plus year age gap. Then there is going to be by far majority the belief and understanding that you're buying the woman, pretty much, that you are attracting her because of the money, the thing that she can get from you. And listen, that does not mean that there won't be love there. That does not mean that there won't be understanding and caring among people. It's there. It can happen. But what I always try to say is that also understand the risks that you're putting yourself in by getting with somebody, right? There's exception from the rules. It's understanding that in any relationship, and this is actually seen all throughout the world, if the age gap is greater than 30 years, you're already going to be handicapped because there's only a 99% chance of it failing. There's only a 1% chance of a successful relationship if it is more than 30 years age gap. So if you are going to get into that relationship, know that you only have a 1% chance of actually succeeding in that relationship. That's why you only see a certain amount of people that are truly going to have that success. The problem is the other 99 guys coming into the Philippines or Thailand, they're going to fail. They're going to fail tremendously, because we're just even looking at the fact that it is just that part. The age gap already creates problem in a relationship. So then, are we looking at the culture differences?
Right. That's
Are we then going to start understanding that maybe communication is going to be a problem? Are we then going to look at the other aspects? Is that some guys will be like, well, I know the woman wants to go to the US, but I'm going to move to the Philippines because I'm not going to bring a woman to the US. Well, then right there alone, there's already a problem. She wants to go to the US. You want to go to the Philippines. We already have. So now you create that 1% chance of success, and it goes down to 0.5%.
right.
It goes down to 1/4%. It keeps on going down and down.
Real.
And then the biggest problem that like in the US, one of the biggest reasons for a relationship to break down is communication. Pretty much people speak English. They say they have the same language, but then at the same time as now you're dealing with somebody probably who does not have good communication in English. So, and then remember, and then look at the fact is this. And when we look at that study about the more than 30 years of age, that's also based in relationships that are somebody who's 60 and dating a 30-year-old. All right. It's not just somebody who's 18 and you're dating somebody who's 48. It's just anything larger than a 30-year age gap. But then if you start dealing with women who are younger, they're going to have less maturity. Then you start looking at asking the questions. Did the person finish college? No. More chances of immaturity for the woman. Because then that's when it starts becoming into a daddy-daughter relationship, meaning I have to teach her to be a better woman. I have to teach her to be this. And when we know for the fact that in a relationship to truly exist, it's about how you guys can actually raise each other up, how you can learn from each other, how you can do something together, and so there's a lot of problems that exist with age gap relationships. So all I can say is that know the potential handicaps that you're going to have. Do you, if you want to have that, the age gap relationship, you want to live your teen years that you didn't have when you were younger because you got married earlier or something like that. Do you, in my belief, do you? But don't tell me that that it's gonna succeed, because a lot of guys, you start hearing these things like, oh, she loves me. The question is, does she truly love you, or did she love your money first? Because if she fell in love with you because you can provide, that's not true love. Now, I understand it can help, like I think Dave was saying something like that, you know what? And I agree in regards, it takes two to tango from what Dave was saying. He was saying something about somebody who can, it saved the farm. Well, then, you have to look at yourself as a guy. I'm being used to save a farm. Why would you get into a relationship in that level? You just knew you were just the bank that approved them. That's all that you are. You're the piggy bank that got cracked for the money. So, and yes, that question takes two to tango. If the parents are agreeing to that, then you really have to also understand, for the truth is, okay, something's wrong with these parents. And somebody in the comment section said, well, you know what? The thing is, think about it if that was your daughter. And I think that is a truly good question to ask, because most of these guys, guaranteed, if it was their daughter who was 17, 18, 19, they would not want them to see that their daughter with somebody who's 60 or 70. Okay.
Yeah.
So then you have to look at their parents. That those parents are, and here's the thing. That's why you have to look at it, and you have to understand the situation, and you have to know how to facilitate and how to fix things or how to figure things out, because those parents, the father is not a prime example of a true father, because if he was, they wouldn't have to do what they're doing. Now, if the father makes good money, is decent, and he's open to it, he says, okay, my daughter, is really in love, I'm going to let her be. But the truth is, you have to look at the father. If the father is not a good father figure, that means you're the new daddy.
Mike, can I ask you a question real quick? Just one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's millions of men that's 50, 60 plus that's not been in a relationship 10, 15 years, right? That's much older than me, that's not been in a relationship in years. You keep mentioning the word love, and I get it. I understand. Like, I personally want love in my life. I'm sure the same as you do.
Mm-hmm.
But some of these men going to the Philippines, does love even matter to these men? I think that like for you, that's a big deal. Maybe for me, that's a big deal, but maybe for them, it's not a big deal. Maybe they're just moving there for a companion to move in with them and to ride out the last 10 years of their life. And love is not even a consideration. And not only that, but you got to look at it this way. Relationships are not going to, we act like a relationship is supposed to last forever, right? Like, and the reality of it is, even same age relationships, most of them fail, right? So, like, I don't look at it as like you're expecting it to fail because it's a big age gap. Like, the reality of it is, most of them fail, even if it's not a big age gap. With that being said, what's your thoughts about love to these men that's not been in a relationship in 15 years?
Well, I think each man approaches things differently. They have different reasons. And I'm not saying it's selfish. I think everyone has their own reasons for what they're doing and what their planning are to be in the Philippines. There are going to be guys that are going to be like, you know what? I'm not into love. I just want to enjoy my last few years of my life. Que sera, sera. I think that there's guys that are going to be that way, right? And so if that's who they are, if that's their North Star, then I'm like, yo, respect. But then I would ask the same thing and says, well, then make sure you let the woman know.
Right. Yeah.
If the woman is, and that's what I was like saying earlier on today, right? Is that as long as it's a mutual understanding and mutual agreement.
Well, no, I say that because most of the people that's on the panel are saying that these big age gap relationships are because she's with him for transactional reasons, so she wouldn't care anyways, right? Most likely, right? According to that.
I think women sometimes. I think one thing that we have to understand is women lie. A good amount of women will lie to themselves.
Right.
I think a good amount of women will lie to themselves in regards to why they're there. Like, some women are going to say, you know what, I love him, and that's the problem, right? What is true love? What is their definition? And this is where you have to understand their definition of love, is because if that's what they're all about, is about somebody that can provide for them. If you just look at the basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs and stuff like that. Yes, sir.
Get my beer.
Hey, so I completely agree with you. Like, me myself, I've lived in Colombia, Thailand for many years, and I've noticed that in these countries, an age gap doesn't seem to be a big deal. For instance, 5-10 years, that seems to be kind of like a normal thing. But I believe that these older men that are like 65 trying to date an 18-year-old, it's more like having the eye candy on the arm, and the girl wants that stability that she can get from that older man. I think it's kind of like that mutual understanding of like, hey, I know you really don't love me that like all that much. I know I really don't love you all that much, but it's kind of like a mutually beneficial situation, in my opinion. Because
I agree with that.
My wife, we have a 10-year age gap. I'm in my 40s, and I have a daughter that's 17. I can't see myself dating an 18-year-old, myself even, and I'm only in my 40s, just because it's just a little too awkward, for myself.
So,
I mean,
hey, Mike, I did want to say, okay, because you brought it up. Okay, I agree with the 30. Thinking about it too, but nobody's going to change my mind on how I feel about that, because, all right, it might be okay like he's saying down there, I get it, I understand it. If you've been to any of these kind of countries, it's always been that way. But when you are like 65, 75, and 80, maybe you're just wanting a girl like that to take care of you, whatever. But how long is she going to take care of you if you can't get up out of a chair or something?
Until you die and the money keeps coming in. That's how it works here.
Well,
well, that's what they're hoping, right? That the money
Yeah,
keeps on
that's how it
coming.
works here. Until
But maybe he don't care though. That's the whole issue. Maybe he doesn't care.
But see,
I'm
the
just
thing is,
saying.
like, I've spoken to guys who are in their 60s, who are in their 70s, and I just want to be fair that there are guys out there that still are looking for love. Like there's still guys out there, but because maybe that they were in a loveless marriage, a sexless marriage, like they're trying to fill the last minutes. They're still trying to find that. So
you're telling me you know of 65-year-old men that are trying to find love meeting an 18 or 19-year-old, and they think that that's a true possibility to find true love by getting with the 18, 19-year-old.
I have spoken to a few, and this is the reason why.
Yeah, no, they do.
No, it's real.
They do, Dave.
Because
Unfortunately,
there's a lot of guys
My
that
friend here that's Filipina has a dating app, and these guys are like hardcore.
And
hardcore,
it's
and
not,
she's 23 or 24.
I just assumed he knew that it's transactional. Like he knew.
It's just because there's you have to understand is that, and I think George and Heidi brought up earlier about the thing with COVID and stuff like that. See, the problem is a lot of guys got BS information. A lot of guys, unfortunately, sees these other vloggers or see these interviews with these other guys, and like exactly, like, so a good example is like so we'll say one of Mark Thornton's interviews, for example, right? All this stuff, like, oh my god, here's this, here's that. Oh my god, he found a young girl. Oh my gosh, she wants to be in a relationship. But then later on, we find out that it was a transactional relationship because there was money that was offered, for example. So, a lot of guys did not get the specifics on how these arrangements were worked or how it was created. So I for me, it will be a disservice for me to say that all the older guys are just into that stuff. No, because there's some guys out there who, number one is like really like maybe they just never got to fall in love. Maybe they got into a relationship because the first woman they got with got pregnant, then they just said, okay, let's get married, and then they were there for 30, 40 years.
Why not a 30-year-old? Why not a 30-year-old though, Mike? Or a 40-year-old?
I think that's a fair thing to say. Like, for me, I'll be honest, I would say, listen, you know what? Get somebody who's educated, get somebody who's been in college, get somebody who's been working, get somebody, because that's part of maturity. So then if for me, if that's my mentality, then I'm saying get somebody who's at least above 26 years of age, right? Get somebody who's had stuff out there. So I agree. That's the thing. It's like, but I'm never gonna force how my beliefs are on people. All I can say is that these are your potential roadblocks that you're going to exist. And some guys are first, just like when I have this list of my red flags for women, there's a lot of guys that are willing to go past all those red flags because they say, not my woman, not this Filipina that I met. Right. So that's the unfortunate situation that happens. Guys are willing to forego. See, like what guys need to understand, and this may be going up against the belief of some, but to be honest, women are not lying to you. When you meet them, when you want to have a relationship with a woman, they're showing their red flags from the beginning.
Right away.
Right away. It's right there. It's like it's like it's like a young girl with an old guy. She wants your money. There's majority of her decision making is the money. But guys are willing to just not look at these red flags and just stare at the pussy.
Yep.
They're like, I'm gonna get to that box eventually. I'm gonna forget about this and that. That's the problem, is guys get tunnel vision.
And another one, I just want to interject this. The reason why a lot of these guys don't want a woman in their 30s and 40s, they don't want the baggage that comes with it, which are generally 2 to 3 kids, that kind of stuff. They don't want to date women with kids. I wouldn't, but I happen to find somebody that were 10-year age gap with no kids. Got lucky. but most women in the Philippines, man, by the time they hit 30 or 40, they got at least a couple of kids. Generally, not all, but generally they do. So nobody wants
If
to
you
deal
get
with
the
other
if you get them from the
I'll tell you
province,
what I
the
learned.
far
Yeah.
majority is they will have a child.
for sure. Yeah.
In the Philippines, girls at even girls at 19 and 20 here even have a kid already. You know what I mean? Like, so
I mean, it's
when
younger
I
than
went
that.
to meet
Yeah.
my wife, I had a few prerequisites that I needed. Yeah. Like I when I tried to look for my wife, I had a few prerequisites that I was looking for. One was that she didn't have a kid. Two was that she had a job. And three, that she can go to the barangay and get me a Senomar so I know she's legal to marry.
Well, you mean the
And I
barangay
was lucky
country,
enough to find that.
the
But I
Senomar, you don't
suggest
get.
that to everyone. Just make sure whoever you're trying to date.
Well, the Senomar, you don't get through the barangay. You get through the PSA, but you're talking about a barangay clearance, that kind of
Seen the
stuff.
name in the air.
But that's what happened. You
Through the
better have
PSA.
a checklist. You better
But
have
yeah.
a checklist. When I mentioned that, when I first met my wife, I mentioned I had a checklist. People were giving me a hard time. What do you mean you had a checklist? Dude, you better have a checklist. I'm going on 10 years of marriage here with no issues, none whatsoever. So if yeah, if you don't have a checklist, I think you're an idiot. I'll tell it to your face that you're an idiot if you don't have a checklist. I'm telling you, man, you better have a checklist and you better open your eyes to the red flags.
right.
They will
Yeah, but I think a lot of them aren't. I think
No
they're living
offense
on
towards
that
anybody.
dream through these YouTubers and they don't go and do what Mike has been teaching or a few things that we've been saying. I think all those flags, they're I'm gonna say it and you guys are gonna hate it. They're simping hard. Hardcore.
That's it.
Let's
Leading
just
with
be
the
honest.
wallet.
They're doing it
Leading
right,
with the
doing
wallet.
it wrong.
Leading with the
And-
wallet. There you go.
And you know, I've dated many girls with kids, and the kids have never been a problem for me. It's the baby daddies. Okay, that's been the issues for me with any girl I've dated with kids. It's never been the.
I don't know if you guys can hear me,
themselves.
but I need
love
to get
kids.
out of here.
It's the baby
I think
daddies
there's something
that
wrong with my
show.
microphone.
Thank you
Alex,
so much,
take care,
Alex.
buddy.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, man.
Alex.
Yeah, take care, Alex.
Bye, Alex.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Take care, Alex.
Like,
My mic
like,
is not working, so see you guys.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
I think that and so like it's funny, like it's the in the comments somebody says, oh, this whole thing about topics about Filipinas, it's really not about Filipinas, it's about female dynamics. There's a few things that you have to be paying attention to when it comes to like Filipinas. There's additional things like the Senomars and those kind of things, right? And what guys need to understand is the differences of women nowadays in the Philippines.
Yeah, but they're not
It's
talking about women.
there's no difference like it is in the US. And you have to look at the fact that a lot of the younger girls, like, don't like if a woman, let's say, for example, like guys are like, well, I don't want to get with a 30.
And like I said earlier, a relationship, if a relationship fails, it's not going to be the end of my life, right? Just like if yours and Heidi's relationship fails, it's not going to be the end of your life, right? I mean,
I truly agree. But see, the thing though is, that right there is some narrative that men need to start removing from themselves.
That's your opinion, by the way.
And that's why the specific question I asked you before any of this was that, what's your purpose for dating her or being with her? Is it to be just to fuck around, or is it to actually be marriage? And so,
can I put 2 cents in after when you're done?
Of course, Big Papa. Give me 1 second, Big Papa. And so the reason why I went there.
Sizzy Kelly sells herself daily. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
hey, and I watch it. It's a business. It's a business. All I can tell you guys, if you don't like it, don't watch it. There is no, by the way, there's no bad advertising. There's no bad advertising.
There's bad advertising. I mean, like, Dylan Mulvaney with Bud Light was a bad advertising.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be honest.
I get that people have to make a buck. I get that. I've been homeless twice in the U.S. But that's the one thing I wouldn't. I get that there's hardcore stuff, and it would get down to what you can actually do. And
all of y'all watch.
Out of all the channels that I've seen, I feel that hers is one of the worst advertising.
Heidi, have you ever watched pornography?
I
Can
do
I
not.
stick up for her?
I
for
have,
It doesn't mean
but
that you
I
marry a
cannot
porn
approve
star.
of it.
No,
But I get
she's
that guys
what?
use it.
So you're
women
calling
use it.
is Stephanie a porn star?
No. Listen.
No, that's what you just said.
hold on.
That's
No,
what you
no,
just
no.
said.
Let me repeat it.
Okay.
He did not say that.
I need
you
to get
brought
in
the
here at some
you
point.
brought the porn reason here analogy. And so here's the thing.
Right.
Here's the thing, okay? You
No,
said
I
well,
didn't
you've
say
seen
it.
porns, and I said, would you marry a porn star? So then you would look into Sizzy.
We
thirst
were
trapping.
talking about Stephanie.
So then I would say, would you then marry a woman who thirst traps online? And so
Have you ever watched pornography? Have you ever watched pornography?
I am a 45-year-old man. Of course I do.
Oh man,
Okay.
sorry, but this Dave
Okay,
guy
so-
sounds like yeah.
So was the women that you were watching, were they wrong
Sick,
for by the way, she's not doing anything that's pornography. It's just she's got all her clothes on, right?
I get it.
So
Look,
just be clear.
Here's the thing. What I'm just
So you can watch it, but you don't like if somebody else has a crop top on and shorts.
No, they can wear crop top. Like here's the thing. That's why I said you can watch porn. That doesn't mean you marry a porn star.
Right, but she's not doing anything pornography.
And
Would you agree with that?
I'm not saying she is.
Okay.
What I'm getting at this very moment, and I think George tried to translate it, is for the fact that there's, so if your goal is for marriage, and like you said, you know what, if the relationship ends, so what? I'm not going to get bothered by it. But at the very same time, as if your goal is to date, to marry with a purpose,
Right.
Wouldn't you rather be able to maximize the results, the potential results, and start dating people who are more of a marriage mindset or have the marriage? Are you familiar with the term hypergamy?
But see, the thing about it is, I don't need. I've heard your education on hypergamy. The thing about it is you don't know Stephanie. That's your problem. Just like I don't know the person that you're dating. You don't know her heart. You don't know her as a person, right? Would you agree with that?
No,
Stephanie.
Just like I explained with the whole, just what I explained with the whole thing.
Don't you guys sit here and down her because she's throwing some clickbait because she's clickbait.
I'm not downing her. I'm saying what I'm saying is that here's the thing. You're right. I don't know her. I truly don't know her. Just like with Steph, and I explained, I said, let me sit down and have a conversation. I'm not going to judge. What I'm just trying to say is that's why I'm asking the questions. Is she thirst trapping men?
Okay, Mike, what about, and I'm
yes.
going to ask you, Dave, real quick.
Probably.
It's a little aside from the actual thirst trap also, because she did a video a month ago saying Filipinas prefer bareback. So I had to ask George what that is. Okay, so she can feel it. You
So
realize
what?
here how
Maybe they do.
how irresponsible it is to put out even a thumbnail or to talk about
Hold on
that
a minute.
in regards
Let
to that,
somebody
because
else
there
get
are
in
so
here
many
for a minute.
communicable diseases here, and you give guys ideals that are okay.
All right.
And you haven't sat down by the river to see all the expat kids that are left behind.
Would you agree that speaking about sex between two consenting adults is okay?
Not on YouTube.
No, I didn't ask you that. Would you agree that two consenting adults talking about sex is okay? Do you agree or not?
Not the same thing.
Because
so that's a trick
this is what her channel is about. Her channel is about talking. Not all of her channel, of course. She does a lot of things, right? But a lot of the clickbait stuff is about two consenting adults talking about sex, right?
That's not really being a consenting adult when she's talking about that.
Whatever. It's two adults talking about sex. Maybe a position,
No, I
maybe
don't
what
think
they
anybody's
like.
talking.
It's two.
I think
It's
that's put
Time
out in
out.
front of kids
Time
and about
out.
other people.
Guys,
Are you
I
from
would
How
like
old
to
is
get in
adults?
there. I've been
Like
trying to
12
get in
and
there for
13-year-olds
5
are allowed
minutes.
to open up accounts.
Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, that area?
Tennessee boy.
Is
Yep.
my mic turned off or something?
I recognize the
Proud Southern boy. Proud Southern boy. Yep.
Yeah, I grew up in Nashville.
Go.
I recognize.
Somebody popped up. Oh, Hey, Just Facts.
Mike,
Did you shut my mic off?
do you agree it's okay for two consenting adults to talk about sex, to have a conversation about sex? What's wrong with that?
Not if they're brother and sister.
Well, of course not. What's your answer to that, Mike?
If they are consenting adults,
What's my answer to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a private conversation, sure.
So let me ask you this: do you
Okay,
agree?
and
So
the
what
video,
is
Mike?
wrong? So what is wrong with
video.
two consenting adults talking about us having a sexual conversation, posting it on YouTube, and then grown men or women deciding to click on it or not? What is wrong with that?
So here's my answer to that. The fact that you say that she is thirst trapping and clickbaiting. All right. The fact that she's
yeah. You don't know what to say because no.
No, I know what I'm saying.
Clickbaiting.
The fact that you stated that she's clickbaiting and she's thirst trapping,
I got more.
then she can go ahead and do that online. That's perfectly fine. But you want to know something as well at the very same time? Okay.
Go ahead, I got more.
Because if she's clickbaiting, that's fine. That means maybe that's not her who she is. That's just the avatar she wants to put out in the world. That's the act that she's putting. It's entertainment.
Okay, so you agree that there's nothing wrong with it?
No. There's a lot wrong with it.
What's wrong with it?
The only thing I give her a pass on.
Nobody can hear me.
The only thing I give her a pass on is because she's faking it. Because I'll tell you one thing: a true Filipina. So thank you. So we have it here that she's faking it for her viewers, and her viewers are watching a made-up, worthless thing because it's not the truth. Thank you for admitting it.
Yeah,
all I wanted to hear.
It's not who she genuinely is.
That's the thing.
Why didn't she join this conversation? But I bet she won't.
So
thank you for admitting that she's a fake. Thank you for admitting that she's faking.
No, she's not a fake.
No. She's faking her information. She's faking the stuff. It's just an act. You said it.
Hold on.
Can I talk, guys?
Maybe we're misunderstanding here. Okay.
What the hell? Why are you letting other people up on the stage if you're not going to let us fucking speak? Why do you
what I'm saying is,
up here or what?
Mike, we'll have a conversation outside of this. Maybe we can speak more clearly. Okay, everybody else can talk.
Yes, please. I've been trying to get in here for 10 minutes. All right, Stephanie and other people, you've got to realize YouTube is a business. All right, what you see on YouTube is not real life.
There you go. That's what I was trying to say, Mike.
Okay, quiet down. Let me speak. People, they make characters. They design the character that they think people want to watch. And they go on and they create that character and they design a page in the channel.
Exactly.
And then they do what they got to do in order to get people to come and watch that channel. It's just like in the movies. When you go to a movie, you watch the person in the movie and say, oh, well, she's a slut. Look at that. She kissed 3 guys on this one movie. No, you look at them and say, oh, well, they're a performer. That's what we are here in YouTube. We're performers. I've been doing this, oh, my God, since I can't remember what the hell, 2019, 2018, or something like that. And that's all we ever did was we were performers. We would come up with a character, and that was it. We are not what you see on here. Very few people are what you see on here. And Dave, that's you up there. I hate you, Dave. I can't stand you. Because, oh no, it's just because you got Steffi and I didn't.
Well, you're the only man that's got any sense here. I was trying to say that when Mike was talking about she's fake, she like he's trying to trap me in something. That's exactly what I was trying to say. It's a character. Like she's a fake on YouTube, and he's trying to exaggerate what I'm trying to say. He's trying to like. You're exact. You said it best. You said it exactly what I was trying to say. It's a character. It's not who she is.
We have 2 types of people who are on YouTube. We have people like Mike who are real life. They're on there. They are what you see, and they're basically talking about real life. And then you've got, I mean, Stephanie is not the only one doing that. My God,
And she's a damn good person. She is a damn good person. And if you ever, if anybody ever talks shit about her, you better be careful. You better be careful.
If you guys,
because she is a damn good person. A damn good person.
If you talk to Stephanie, you'd find that she is a sweetheart. She's not.
She is a good person, and I got her back 100%, 110%.
And you'll see people on here. I'm not going to say names, but there's plenty of people on here doing the exact same thing. You go on there and you look, and there are thumbnails on there that are disgusting. I've been complaining about them for a year now, and all they've done is gotten worse. But you know what? That's advertising. That's how they pull people into their channel. Their subscribers know that what they see in that thumbnail, they're not going to see when they get in there to that channel.
It's clickbait, man. It's clickbait. That's all it is. It's clickbait. She's having a conversation about sex between two adults, and people's trying to throw her under the bus. It's crazy.
I only came up here just to tell you, Dave, I hate you. I can't stand you. If I ever
hey, man, best decision I ever made. I could have had a 20-year-old with no kids in college, all that. Best decision I ever made was getting with Stephanie. Amazing person. Amazing person.
So here's the thing. If
I wish you guys knew her.
If the online presence of her is fake, if it's all an act, okay? If it's all an act, so then can we make fun of the person that's acting on the online? Is that okay for people to judge her, what she puts in the online, because they know that it's not her real self, that it's an act?
Yes. You do you, Mike. You do what you want to do. Okay.
No, I don't. I'm not. What I'm just trying to say is, okay, this is what I'm saying. If that's an act, so it's like, just like what Big Papa says, if there's a movie, whatever, we can say like Brad Pitt sucked at this movie, that character, whatever. So since she's playing a character, then that means any comments that's made about her should not really affect her. She should be able to distance herself, and like that's the character that's being made fun of, and then not me. But
I'm still trying to figure out what she's doing wrong that's bothering everybody so much. I mean, she is an adult. She is an adult. She is an adult.
She has every right to thirst trap. She has every right to talk about sex online.
Okay, what's bad about that? Can I talk?
It's for me. I'm gonna say one thing. It's bad because it sucks for you in the future in a relationship, and you're gonna waste your time.
That's your opinion. But I'm asking about her. What's bad about it in her regards?
She has every right to thirst trap. She has every right to talk about sex. She has every right to do that because that's what she wants to do, and she's a free woman, this and that. I'm dealing with only when it comes to relationship. That's why I asked you.
I respect that.
And that's what I'm saying is you just have a higher percentile, a high percentile chance that your relationship is not going to work. Because if you're not going to be
your previous relationship didn't work. Like most relationships don't work, right? Most relationships don't work,
but you do better next time and understand the algorithms and how to make it better.
Or maybe we die old together, Mike. Just maybe. Okay. You don't know.
Shit, this guy ever fucking shut the fuck up or what?
You're not God. You don't know.
I gotta go. But can you do me one favor, Dave? And that is, could you tell Stephanie that I suck up for her? Just in case.
I sure will. And her family will appreciate it.
Just in case she gets mad at you and kicks your ass out, it'll give me a little goodie point when she's looking
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. I sure will.
All right, Mike.
I appreciate you having some common sense.
Well, no, I mean, it's just I look at YouTube a little differently. So I've been here so long that I know.
Are you stating nobody else has any common sense, Dave?
No, I did not say that.
Thank you for having common sense.
What I'm speaking. Well, if you will, everybody here is smart. You're super smart, Heidi. What I'm speaking about is whenever he was talking about a character, right? And what I'm saying is, whenever he said that, it was a lot of common sense. I said, thank you for having common sense. Him specifically speaking about her character on YouTube. There's no dumb people on this panel at all, period.
But the problem is, like I said, is that you've got two different types of performers here. You've got Mike and Heidi and George, where they do live streams, they do talking, they do, stuff. And then you've got somebody like her that does performance art. She's doing, interviews where she's doing. It's not live. Sometimes she does live, but she's not live, and sometimes they're talking about sex to kind of spice things up. And
that's
as
gonna make
do
it
a
hard
lot
for
of
people
other
to
channels.
listen
She's
to her
not the
on
only
other
channel
stuff if
doing
that's
this.
what she's doing, because she does a mix of stuff.
She
So
does all
not
kinds of
everything that
stuff.
she does is a character. She does other stuff, does she not?
Exactly. She does.
Okay,
She does a
well, then it's
lot of
not
different
all
things.
character.
No,
So
no, what
some
I'm
people
saying-
watch these channels and things are kind of mixed in there. That's all.
Yeah,
So
all I'm saying is, look here, all I'm saying is something really simple, okay? She has an adult channel. And when she has another adult on her channel, and she asked him, what is your favorite position? That Filipina does not have to answer that question,
Well, I wouldn't
right?
be posting my
Honey,
daughter's videos
honey,
on there alongside
George.
with it.
Okay, and she's asking another adult an
Do you
adult
want
question,
them, let me
right?
ask you something. Do you want them same guys to look at her daughter's videos too, that she
What do
puts
you?
on next to them?
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Understanding
What?
she's got videos.
Hold
on
on,
there.
hold on, Heidi. With all due respect, I do not want to bring a child into this conversation. That's kind of
You
cringe
said
to
it
me.
was an adult channel, so that's what I'm calling you out on.
Okay, you can ask her. You can
You
call
said
Stephanie
that.
out. I'm not bringing her daughter into this conversation. You can ask her personally
You
about
said
her
it was
daughter.
an adult channel. That's all. So I'm just throwing a little
Okay.
something.
Honey, George.
You send her a message and ask her about her
Can
daughter.
you
I
give
don't
me
think that'll go
30
over. I
seconds?
don't think that will go over too well for you.
Can
I
you
wonder
give
whether or
him
not you could get
and
an
give me
interview.
30 seconds?
You called it an adult
You're
channel.
somewhat breaking up, Gogo.
I wonder whether
You
or not
can
could get an
ask
Just
her,
30
Heidi.
seconds. Then I'll go.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
will. Maybe I can have her to send you a message and she can answer your question for you.
Okay.
See if she'll do an interview. See if she'll do an interview for 1 hour.
I'll have her to.
interview.
Yeah, I'll see if she'll come on your next live show. I most certainly will, and I'll get on here with her
I want
because
them to see how
at the
nice
end
of
of
a
the
person
day,
she is.
at the end of the day, everybody on this panel has watched pornography. She's not doing pornography, by the way. I'm just saying that as an extreme.
No, she's doing worse. She's doing worse than pornography. Allow me to elaborate.
Go ahead. Go
You gonna
ahead.
let me talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead.
First of all, are you in the Philippines with her right now?
No, but I will soon be there.
Right.
I
Okay,
will
shut up.
soon be-
Shut up. Shut up. You're
I
not
like
in
you,
the Philippines.
Go-Go. I like you, Go-Go.
Right? She has a high. Shut up. Shut up. She has a high social media presence, and it's all sexual content. Do you have the passwords to all her social media? No. She probably
I don't
gets
want-
100 messages from different boyfriends
She does.
every day. Right.
She does.
And she probably asks them for money.
No,
Now
she
that,
does
that's
not.
all I have to say on the topic. I'm done. That's all I have to say.
No,
I'm done. I'm done.
See, I can't. Andrew, Omar, Mr. Omar, that is not the truth. Okay, Andy Omar, that is not the truth.
It's not
She's
Andy
not.
Omar.
It's 100% Andy Omar. But
No,
beside the
it's
point,
No, it's not. No, it's not.
He,
I-
yeah,
no.
Go.
Go,
Well,
Dave.
we won't say his
Let's go,
nationality,
go.
but not the same nationality as
He's
Andy.
from
It's not
Europe,
Andy.
so I'm sure of that.
Okay. Well, even if it's not, okay, she has never, not once. As a matter of fact, I can send screenshots of emails where men has offered to send her money for various things, and she always tells them no. Always tells them no. I have seen it.
Okay,
I've
that
been there,
means-
sit there, and seen it. She don't get no money, guys. The only money she gets is from her YouTube channel. That is it. She don't get no PayPal. She don't get no Patreon. She don't get nothing. She gets YouTube money, and that's it. And when her daughter was sick, there was a couple of people sent her some money for her daughter's cancer treatments. That's it. There is no thirst money. There is none of that going on. I know because I sit there and seen it.
That's
Hey,
what you
Dave.
think, my friend.
She
Hey,
has
Dave.
her PayPal. She has PayPal on her list for donations.
She does have her PayPal, but it does not work. And I'm just saying, Mike, it does not work. It 100% does not work. I'm telling you, it does not work.
How about this? I'll challenge you. Tell her to take all her PayPal.
Hey, I can.
She
I can
can't.
donate.
She can't log into it.
No, I said
can
take
take
out
the
her
link
PayPal on her
You can take
links.
the link off the channel.
She
can take
okay.
the
She
link
can
off.
do. I mean, she'll do that. She can do that. She can do that because I've seen the screenshots where she has conversations back and forth with customer service. What happened was, let me explain to you what happened.
You don't have to explain anything. I just you don't have to explain anything. Just challenge her to take it out of her chat.
Well, let me explain to you what happened.
No,
She had it listed as a.
All you other guys have got a PayPal. It's not fair to have her take off PayPal when she could get it fixed in a month from now and get a little extra money. I mean, you have other links that you get money from. I'm sure George and them, if they don't, they will have. Other YouTubers have that link and so forth. So it's not fair to single her out and say, okay, she should take.
No, you can mention ours all you want.
No, Mike's trying to insinuate. Mike, do you think she's? Are you saying she? No, you always like that. You always like to ride that. You always like to ride that bottom line.
Can I explain myself?
She's getting other money.
Mike, listen, before you say anything, like
you guys can't assume that somebody's getting donations if you don't know they're getting donations. That's kind of crazy to me. That's kind of crazy.
Can I say something quickly? I agree with you, Dave.
That's crazy.
I agree with you. But if you want to keep your eyes like fucking shut and not want to be know the truth, then keep on going with that mindset, my friend. There's nothing wrong with that. Just keep saying you're in denial. Just keep on thinking that and you'll be all right.
Denial about what? Elaborate.
About getting like your Filipina. I'm assuming that Ceci hot mama is your girlfriend, yeah?
What am I in denial about? Please elaborate.
You're in denial that you don't want to accept.
But don't just say it, dude. Just fucking say it.
If you just
she dated other foreigners.
If you just
she has dated one other foreigner. She has dated one other foreigner that died in a motorcycle wreck. That was 2 years ago.
And what makes you so confident that she's not talking to other foreigners right now? What makes you so confident that that's not getting fucking money? If she can get money, if I'm sorry, but if she can lie,
we can ask this question about anybody, right? We can ask this. Why are you asking me? Like we can ask this question about anybody. Because I don't understand. What are you? What's the point of this? It doesn't make no sense.
Hot mama Filipina, what? Are you her boyfriend?
No, that's
yes, I'm her boyfriend.
Because everybody.
That's what I asked you, and you didn't answer me.
Is your girlfriend getting money from other dudes?
See,
no, it doesn't make no sense. It makes no sense.
I
don't understand.
Moving the goalpost to the question of what So here's the thing. To answer Big Papa, I don't. Here's the thing about the. I'm not gonna say remove the PayPal. The reason why I said have her remove the PayPal to show proof. And this is the reason why, Dave, was because you said she didn't have a PayPal. You said that clearly out of the day. Right?
I did not say that. I said her PayPal does not work.
No. I can.
Her PayPal,
and I can rewind this later on.
We can rewind. We can. No. She has a PayPal. She has a PayPal. It's right there on her link. It's right there on her link. It's right there. She has a PayPal.
Here's the thing. The reason why I looked in her channel was because you specified and said she doesn't have PayPal. So that's why I opened up her channel.
She has a PayPal. It's right there, Mike. It's right there.
That's what I'm saying.
She has been involved with customer service.
Hold on a second.
No.
Can I please explain how it?
No.
This is how it's transpired. You literally said she doesn't have PayPal. Then I go on her channel.
She doesn't. She doesn't. She can't sign into it, Mike.
That's one second. Hold on.
Let me ask you.
Hold on a second. So that's why I said she has PayPal because it's in her channel. Then
she can't sign into it.
Then you went to that part explanation. You said no, she couldn't sign. Okay, blah blah blah.
Do you think? Hold on. No. Do you think that I was trying to hide the fact that she has a PayPal whenever it's right there? You're making no sense. You're making no sense.
I'm making perfect sense because the thing is,
it's right there.
So. No, we didn't have it all in front of us until I pointed it
out.
Her
PayPal is all over her account, dude. It's all over it.
So here's my.
She can't sign into it.
So I have an idea. I can send $1 to her PayPal account, and PayPal will tell me if she received it.
Okay, listen. Let me explain to what happened to her PayPal. She had a personal PayPal, and because whenever her daughter was sick with cancer, she got like 5 or 6 donations. I don't know the exact number, right? And they shut it down because I'm assuming that's what happened. And the screens, I can send all the screenshots are there where she's speaking back and forth with customer service. She cannot sign into her PayPal, period.
That doesn't mean it's not working. You could still send $1.
Yeah, you can send it to her, but she can't sign into it. She cannot get it.
Dave,
That
let
doesn't
me
make
say.
sense. I've been
Hold
using
on a minute.
PayPal for years.
I've been
Okay,
using
we're
it.
lying. I'm lying. I'm lying, and she's lying.
I've
Okay,
been using
okay,
it
go
for a
ahead.
whole lot of
I'm not
years.
saying I'm not
And I
saying
can
you're
tell you
lying, but I think you have a. I think you have.
I've seen the screenshots from customer service.
I've seen a lot of seminars as well that people said it was real, but then it was fake. So like I'm just
Mike,
saying is that
Mike, let me ask you a question, dude. Why are you always trying to make somebody look bad for it? Like, why? What's that do for you?
Always?
Yeah. What's that doing for you? What's making Stephanie right now try to make her look bad? What's the point behind it?
Number one is I'm not.
No, you are. You are.
No. Hold on.
Let's be real.
No. Let's.
You
let's
like
be
that?
real.
No.
Do you want me to be real or not? You want me to give you the
Yeah.
reality? Okay. So number one, I don't. Number two is you did because you brought her up. That's your fault.
No. I did not. You asked about PayPal.
No. You see the thing though is your job
I did not bring her up. Somebody
Yes,
asked me.
no,
Somebody
you
you
actually
don't
did. I was
answer.
talking about
What, you want me to
subscriber
lie
count,
about it?
and
You
you
want me to
were
lie about
actually
it?
bragging.
Yeah,
Listen, Dave, you were bragging that
What?
your girl gets 1,000. Yeah, my girl gets 1,000 views. I'm like, well, what does she do during that live stream? Because that is not normal. That's nowhere
hold
near
on.
normal. So what did she do? Oh, exercise
Rewind it.
video. You brought that up.
No,
And then
you were
mentioned
talking.
her name, and
No,
I'm like,
I was not
I put her
bragging, by the
name
way.
under Hot Mama and Sizzly Kelly. I was like, well, yeah,
Oh
I
my
know who
God.
this is.
I was not bragging. I appreciate Heidi. I actually like you, and for you to say that kind of bothers me
Hold on,
because I was not
Dave,
bragging.
Dave, let me jump in
Here's
there.
what happened. You were talking about live shows, right? And what I
about
said
live stream
was,
numbers and
I
everything, yeah.
said that when you're on a live stream, I said I seen her get 1,000 subscribers on a live show before. That
Please,
is
Dave,
not
let me
bragging.
jump in
That's
here.
just me speaking the facts.
Can I jump in here for a minute, guys?
How's that bragging?
Heidi.
Okay, then let's remove the bragging thing. You said she got 1,000, then it wasn't
Heidi.
there. Bragging.
I mean, I was not bragging at all. I'm a very humble person, by the way.
Heidi,
I would
Okay,
never
well, like
brag
I
about
said,
anything.
I'm over that. Remove the bragging thing, but it's everything that's come after that.
Heidi, hold
You
on.
I did not bring her up. Somebody
Dave,
else.
hold on
I
a
had no
minute.
intentions of speaking about Stephanie. Somebody asked me, was I dating Stephanie? And I said, yes. I'm not going to deny my girlfriend, right?
It is possible
That would
to
be
get a
effed
big
up.
amount on PayPal. I mean, on views and on subs. Let me explain to you. When Simple Life in the Philippines first started her channel, all right, she asked me to go on her channel and help her increase her sub count and her view count. I went on, and there are certain ways that you can increase it, certain things you have to do, which will increase people for subscribing to your channel, all right? But you have to do it during the live. And so I went on there, and when I was on there doing that, she would get between 600 and 800 new subscribers every day. All
Yeah,
right?
it can happen.
And there was a couple of days that she got 1,200 new subscribers every day. There were times you can go on her channel and look. There are on some of her videos, she was getting 20, 30,000 views on those videos.
Yes.
Now that I have stopped going on and doing what I was doing, her videos have dropped back down to 4, 5, 6,000 views a day, and her sub count is maybe 100 to 200 a day. It is possible to increase the sub count. You're not buying subs. There's just something that there's something that some of us know how to do that have been doing YouTube for a long time.
And it's normal. It would be normal, right? It's normal to get 1,000. It's not a 1,000 new.
It's
what
not
I'm saying.
normal.
What I'm saying is, Heidi, for a channel that's got 50,000 subscribers, if they go live for a couple of hours, it's normal for them to get 600 to 1,200 new subscriptions.
Name some
Well,
channels that gets that on a normal basis.
David, no, really, it's not.
Go
It's
go
not.
look at Simple
We
Life in the
monitor most
Philippines.
of these
It's not
big
normal, Dave.
ones. They
It's
don't.
not normal. You're lucky to
Sunshine,
get
even
Well,
Philly in the
You're lucky
Philippines,
to
they
get
don't.
Go
well,
look at
maybe I say normal. It's normal for her, is what
go
I'm
look at
saying.
her.
Like
Go
I've
look
seen
at
it
Simple Life
happen.
in the Philippines. Simple Life in the Philippines. Go look at her channel, and she's been only. Well, I started helping her, and I think it was November, and she grew from 1,500 subscribers in November, and she grew. I believe it was 30 or 27,000 or 25,000 subscribers in a matter of 3 months.
Yeah, I mean it can happen. And there's some live shows where she'll only get 50. I just want to be clear. I don't know all of her numbers. I'm
Well,
just
yeah,
just saying. Like
during
sometimes you
the
won't.
times
Sometimes
during
you
the
won't.
times that I
Sometimes
was
you will get
involved with,
none.
I mean, during the
But
times that I wasn't on there with doing what I was doing, she would only get like you said, 200 or 300 on the show or 50 on the show.
yeah. But either way,
I just
Mike.
wanted to say that before I went off. Is that yes, it is possible to do it, but you've got to have somebody that knows what they're doing, that's been in YouTube a long time, that knows how to get people to subscribe and how to get views and so forth. Otherwise than that, you're right, Heidi. It's nearly impossible to do it on just regular content.
All right, hey, Mike. I just want to say, man, like there's no bad blood between me and you or nothing like that. Like I do appreciate you saying, hey, if she wants to do what she wants to do, and you're not like downing her for that. You're not like, hey, she's a this or she's a that. Like I do. Yeah, let me just finish what I'm saying here. Like because I don't want like. Because I do like Mike. I've been on his live show before. I don't know if you remember, Mike. It's been like 6 months ago or 8 months ago or something. I came on for a little bit. So, but yeah, no, there's no issue there. I have no problem with somebody that disagrees with me on something like that. My only defense of her, of course, I'm going to defend her because I know the type of person she is, right? And so I'm just saying that her content is about consenting adults. Sometimes, not all the time, asking adult questions, right? You click on it or you don't. And so I just don't think it's right to sit there and then down her and make her sound like a bad person for doing that. That's
Dave,
it.
Mike doesn't always go at people. Him and I have been on this panel many times recently, and him and I don't go at each other. Mike and I don't know Mike. I don't know him from home and ground. I watch his videos and so forth, but him and I have been very cordial to each other. So I just wanted to say that he doesn't always go at people. Doesn't always put them down.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean that. No, I mean, he really doesn't always, right? But it was like he keeps going after his PayPal thing. Like I'm lying and she's lying. Like I mean,
I was once again. I asked specific questions and I was trying to understand, and that's why once again I tried to stop you. I said, listen, this is why I went to these certain levels of questions because this question was asked first.
Yeah.
You stated this. And then I went there.
Mike, I get it. All I'm saying is that you asked me about her PayPal channel. Whenever I say she don't have a PayPal channel, what I'm saying is she can't access it, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
And so that's
it's all
fine.
over her PayPal link's all over her YouTube channel, but she really can't. And so you understand where I'm coming from with that? Like she can't access it.
I understand where you're coming from. I also and once again, once you stated that she can't get access to her PayPal, okay, then my next question was, okay, well then if that PayPal is not working, okay, then she should remove it from her YouTube channel. Because number one, there's several things is you have viewers that's probably sending money to that PayPal right now. There's money going in and it's not coming to her. But you did not let me respond right away.
Right. No, it's cool. It's just
why? So now here's the thing. She needs to make a video explaining to people, because how long has this PayPal thing been going on? Because there's probably guys that's been giving her money.
They honestly, to be honest with you, they really haven't been. Nobody ever.
But she won't know because she can't access it. You said it yourself.
Right, she can't. She
So
can't.
she doesn't know if they are or not.
Well, I guess
so. The nicest thing for her to do is remove it. Number one, is she willing to remove it? Because here's the thing: if
as
she
long
removes,
as
here's
yeah,
the
go
thing:
ahead.
if she removes it, if she says, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to remove it," you're right.
Mhm.
Let me remove it because it's unfair to these guys. But then the question is, if she doesn't remove it or clear her site for it, then you can start maybe saying, "Listen, I'm siding with you as a man right now. Remember, like I said, maximize your relationship. My thing here is the relationship that you're trying to have. You want a marriage. That's what you said earlier. So I'm just saying, let's maximize certain things.
I got you.
So the thing though is, if she doesn't remove that PayPal account, that means you then have to ask your question: is that PayPal really still open?
Now, I will say this: she does plan on creating a new PayPal at some point, like because she cannot get this one. Just let me finish. She cannot. She's been trying to get this resolved through PayPal for 2 months now. She can't get it resolved, so she will eventually have another PayPal, and she should have a PayPal just like everybody else does, right?
Then remove then tell her for now, baby, please remove the link.
Yeah, she does.
No, she's not, because it's still there.
It's still there.
Tell her, be like, baby, it's unfair to your viewers.
No, she'll remove it. All I got to do is, hey, send her a message as soon as we get done with this live show. Send it, and she'll remove it. Simple.
I'm after doing one now. Send her the message. I'm out.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
When's the last time you were in the Philippines, Dave?
Let's see. It's been a couple of months.
2 months?
Are you moving full time to the Philippines, Dave?
Yes, sir.
For good? I mean, because you're a young guy, man. You already retired?
6 to 8 weeks. Yeah, but I've got I'm financially fine. I'm a veteran, disabled veteran. I'm going to be okay. And I've done really. Well, I'm not going to talk about my financial situation, but I'll be okay.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
How many times have you been here, Dave?
Thank you.
3 times.
3 times.
Yes, ma'am.
All in the same area, or we've been traveling in parts of?
I've went a few different places.
Oh, okay.
I've been to. Do you want to know where I've been to? Or is that the question?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So I've been to a few places in Manila. I guess Manila is the same city. Actually, it's like 10 cities. But then I've been to Bohol. I've been to Cebu, and then Siquijor and Dumaguete. That's it.
Oh, okay. So you've been you've been more than.
What's the last one that you've been to again? Say the last one that you've been to.
Siquijor.
Whore. Like your girlfriend, a whore.
I guess so. Yes, sir. Yep. If that's the way you want to put it. You're not going to get me.
Let's be honest here. She's a whore. Let's be honest.
You're not going to get me heated, but go ahead. I'm not.
I'm not trying to. I'm being honest. I'm being perfectly honest with you.
He's trying to get me heated for the views. He's trying to get me heated for the views. He don't have a face. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, buddy. It's not going to work. I'm not taking the bait. Not taking the bait. If you showed your face, we'd have a conversation. But I don't even know why.
We can have a conversation. Go ahead.
Allows you to come on their channel with no picture, no nothing. Like, that's crazy.
I respect your side. Go ahead.
Anyways, I'm ignoring this guy because he's not. It's clear he's trying to bait me in. It's not going to work. I'm too smart.
Gets 100 messages from different foreigners every day.
Hey, George, can you please finish what you were saying? What was your question,
It goes
George?
to her Facebook.
No. That was
this guy don't even have respect for you. But go ahead, George.
I'm being honest. I'm being perfectly honest. Someone tell me I'm wrong. Mick, call me out.
Okay.
Jerry, call me out. Mitch, call me out.
I'm going to get off this live. I'm going to just get off this live. Bye. I mean, if this guy's going to talk to me about this, I'll just get off here because I really don't even have to be here. So it's up to you guys.
That kind of a channel. I mean,
if you think you're going to bait me in for views or something,
I'm not trying to be. Go ahead.
You're not going to bait me, dude. But go ahead.
You guys.
No, you go ahead. Let Jerry have the floor for a bit. Go ahead, Jerry.
Try to bait me with the horror word. That shit ain't going to work with me, buddy.
Yeah, don't use that word and be respectful.
You know you're out of line, bro. I mean,
Try
this
to
is
be
not a
respectful.
troll channel we're on.
I don't think it's out of line at all, given what he's told us.
George
Yeah,
and Heidi,
that's
they
not cool.
the guy
Hey
will
George.
not.
Hey George.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Do
go ahead.
you find what do you find wrong with what Stephanie is doing with her channel?
Okay, now here's the thing.
I want a direct answer if you would
Technically
give
and
me one.
legally, is she doing anything wrong? No. Will I
I'm
ever
asking
say
your
it?
personal position. I'm asking your
Right,
personal
that's what I'm
opinion.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Again, let's say Heidi didn't exist. Okay, let's say Heidi didn't exist. Will I watch her channel? No. Do I see anything wrong with her channel, or do I see anything legally wrong with her channel? No, I don't see anything wrong at all with her channel. It's her channel. She can do whatever she wants. It's all within legal limits. It is not corn as you say it is. It's not. However, again, let's say Heidi didn't exist. Will I date her? No, but that's me.
I didn't ask you if you date her. I
No.
asked you specifically.
I know. But I already answered the channel part, right? And again, I don't legally and
she's not
morally.
available. She's not available, by the way. So
Well, no. Again, what I'm saying is again, I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's her channel. It's within the legal
we're
limits.
good then. Okay,
correct.
So everybody
Right.
agrees then.
But
What
the
she's
thing
doing,
is-
there's nothing wrong. Okay.
Well,
No,
that's the
shit,
thing. The
fucking-
reason why I said, will I date her? The reason why I said that is because they're not actually the people in the panel are not arguing with you because of the channel. They're arguing with you because of why you're with her. Then that's why I said, will I date her? Not because you asked me that question. It's
So do
because
you think
that's what their argument is?
So do you think? Hold on. Do you think she's a bad person because of her content? Do you think that makes her a bad person?
I don't know her.
Okay, so what are you? So I don't understand. So you don't know her?
And even I didn't say
No.
she's a
I never
bad
said. I never
person.
said she's a bad person.
Okay, so what's the deal here?
Okay,
So I don't understand.
No, see, that's what I mean.
She's not a bad person. She's just a whore.
She's not right. She's not a bad person. However, the
Hey,
argument
George,
is I
you need to
somewhat
kick
line
Jojo
up with
out.
Mike.
Hey, you're going to allow that, Heidi? Heidi, you're going to allow that?
That's not cool. Yeah.
Are you going to allow that?
The argument is
I guess so.
I line up with Mike again because according to Mike, and I line up with Mike on this one. If she breaks boundaries, which she has, again, it's her boundaries. It's her life. That's up to her.
What boundaries has she broke? Tell me the boundaries she broke.
Okay, first off, I get it's a show. I understand that. Okay.
But what boundaries has she broke?
Well, that's what I was getting at. Okay, for example, a boundary that's not illegal. Okay, I'm just making it concrete here because again, I'm not trying to judge her or anything because I'm not gonna break down her channel because this is not what this live is about in the first place. I'm just gonna make an analogy, a good analogy of a broken boundary. For example, strippers. Okay, are they breaking the law? No. Are they doing anything wrong? Technically, no.
She's not a stripper.
Broke a boundary for most people, meaning exposing themselves.
Stephanie, but what boundary has she?
I know that,
broke?
and I'm making an analogy. Again, I'm not going to break down her channel. One, this live is not about her. It's not about her channel. There's a lot of things that don't mesh. That don't mesh with her channel. If it's a family channel, I get it. If it's a house building channel, I get it. But her channel is an amalgamation of everything. So you can't say it's just a show because she is showing her true self. So now you have a mesh of reality and fantasy, and a lot of people won't be able to distinguish one from the other. Now, here's the problem with that. A lot of people, even actors, sometimes suffer from this fact. Actors, meaning, again, she's a performer. Even professional actors, sometimes they'd be out in public and then they have a false memory, meaning somehow they think that they've done this, but in reality, it's a role they did. In fact, a lot of people don't talk about this. And what I'm saying is, because of that, her amalgamation of the channel
Yeah.
Sometimes she won't know reality from fantasy anymore. I'm not saying that's what she is. And I'm not saying she's suffering from this.
So
What I'm
I heard
saying
nothing
is,
bad. I heard nothing bad. So that's
right.
No,
I think we're all in agreement here. I think we're
Right.
all in agreement here.
Yeah, we're all in agreement. It's perfectly normal to make sexual content targeted at foreigners online. That's completely normal. I agree with you, Dave.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. We're all in agreement. Cheers.
So
You guys, can I say something? Being a guy from Tennessee, I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, so I know. I know
Nashville. Okay,
Yeah,
it's not too far. Nice.
Lived in Pulaski, Columbia, whatever. Anyway, I see that because she's got a famous channel now. Great.
I wouldn't say famous. I wouldn't, but yeah.
It's growing leaps and bounds. What's going to happen as soon as somebody from Dubai or some other country thinks she's sexy and they're a multimillionaire? Where's that going to leave you? Do you think she's going to still love you or care about you?
I think she will, but hey,
forgive me.
You know, at the end of the day, we can say that about Mike's girlfriend. We can say that about your girlfriend. We can say that about anybody, right? Like, I don't know why this is about like me.
Because
any woman's can lose. Any man's woman can get lost to a millionaire, right? Like that can happen.
But then again,
No, this is completely different.
How can you stay with a liar? Here, what's happening with all this is this pretty much this, right? Because of the actions that she's doing, what she allows herself to do, what you allow her to do.
It's money.
Yeah.
It translates to that for her wise, she has higher potential compared to the other guys that are not gonna allow their women to do thirst traps. For the guys are allowing to make sure that the woman has her femininity intact, where she's fully intact, where she's not gonna cross the boundaries, as George were gonna say, and stuff like that, whatever the boundaries that are set forth. But here's the thing: George is talking about boundaries, but what we do know is for you, Dave, it's not a boundary, and you allowed it to be crossed. Because here, so that's your reality. Where I come from is for the understanding that number one, okay, she can do whatever she wants to do. She's free to do it. You allow her to have that freedom. The thing though is what Georgia also is adding here, the psychological aspect. Now, so even Mike, the way Mike brought it up, understand that she has a lot of voices in her ears. And listen, you allow that, and that's perfectly fine. You met her that way, that's where it is. We all know.
Can I ask something, Nick? Can I ask you something?
I gotta go, guys. Listen, I gotta go. I just
bye, Sim.
Everybody agrees what she's doing is nothing wrong, unless anybody wants to say
it's wrong for a relationship to be in.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly normal. Bye, Sim. Bye, Sim.
Are you done?
Have a simping day.
Protect yourself. That's what I say. Protect yourself.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the concern, and I'm going to hop off of here. Heidi, George, I appreciate you guys letting me come on the panel.
Thank you, Dave.
Still love you guys. I think George is super intelligent, smarter than what people think, and we can agree to disagree, right? And no, I really do. I like the way that I say that. I'm not kissing ass. I say that because I like. If you watch George, how he analyzes things and like how he speaks, like he's very smart. So
he has the propensity to talk very articulate.
Yes, he does. So, but I appreciate you guys letting me come on the channel. Maybe we can do it again. Maybe
contact me. I'd be more than glad to do an interview.
Yeah.
We can do it by Zoom, and that way I can understand a little bit more. All I was trying to say, and I agree, everything that George said is really how I feel. I'm just saying there's a mesh in the channel and different things. But like I said, at the end of the day, it is entertainment. There's all different types of facts out there, and I would like to actually interview her, and I'll send her the questions. I'll send her the question because we always send a pre-question. That way she's not, caught off guard. We always do that for our interviewees.
Yeah, I'm sure she would most likely do that. I know she would at least come on a live show or something like that. She can explain her situation and maybe everything that's been going on, and maybe you guys can know her a little bit better, right? And so yeah, that'd be good. I can. Yes.
Quick question. I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Quick question. There's a way you can solve this criticism. Just out of curiosity, and you don't have to answer this question. What is the monthly cost of the treatment for the child? Can I ask you that question? Or you don't. You
can ask her that. I'm not.
Okay, I'm saying,
not.
It's
I will say this. It's the treatments, the chemo treatments are over now. But I can tell you this, it was thousands of US dollars. I know that for a fact. I've seen the hospital bills.
Yeah.
I was there while she was getting the treatments, and yes, I helped some. But it was thousands of US dollars per treatment each month. So that I can tell you, but giving specifics, it's
no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Well, hey,
All right.
God bless the child. I pray for the child if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, you guys got to kind of understand too. If you're a Filipina, you're making $100 a month, $200 a month, and your child's got cancer, and you see that certain content is going to earn more money, and you're trying to earn as much money as you can to help your daughter out. Like, I mean, again, it's easy to pass judgment on people. It's easy to criticize others. It's at the end of the day, as Mike said, YouTube is a business. As Heidi says, it's an entertainment game. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, don't watch it, right? Like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's simple as that.
Dave, if you were there and you were in the Philippines and saw the treatments happening, then if that is true, God bless you, brother. God bless you. And again, thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. All right. I'm off of here now. I got to call my sweetheart.
All right, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Peace.
Dusty, you're a simp too.
See you, Mike.
Now let me ask my question. Bye, simp. Let me ask my question to Nick. Leave, simp. Leave. Thank you. Couldn't handle any more of that super simp.
Man, don't feel like
now,
that.
Mick.
Come on.
Mick, I got a question for you. What are the odds of that girl already having multiple boyfriends now online? What are the odds?
For number one is I won't make that type of a judgment. I would say that there's more likely that there's a lot of people in the friend zone.
Answer the question. What are the odds?
What are the odds? You can't make it. You can't put any odds. There's potential, sure, but there's no odds that
you know why you won't answer it, Mick? Because you're trying to be kind. But if we were to be
no. How can you how can you actually quantify that?
Sure, I'll tell you how. She has a channel with sexual content targeted at foreigners. The odds of her having multiple online boyfriends that she chats to are extremely in the high range. That's fact. And you know that, Nick.
I would say that she's got. I'm not trying to be nice. I would say that there's a lot of guys in in better up position. I would say that there's a lot of guys that's put in the friend zone that's just waiting to pounce.
I mean, the battling that's dead apparently is a big red flag too. I mean, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Fuck with these voices, my God.
Like, I don't understand what you just said. I think that's Mitch, right?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I said sorry. I said the supposedly dead PayPal link is another red flag that you can take into account. I mean, that it should tell you something. I mean,
and that's why I jumped on it. The reason why, because somebody said, go ask me what are the odds. I'm like, there's a chance, there's a good amount there, but I can't quantify a number. Say there's a 50-50, a 60-60, 70, because there's no way to quantify that. But like I said, is by me stating that there's a lot of guys waiting in the friend zone, that's good enough for you to say that there's a high potential there, because guys are they may not have the title of another boyfriend, but they're in the friend zone waiting in the back end of things, or the moment Johnson brought in. So they're not boyfriends, but I'm sure there's guys. There's one thing is all women have guys in the friend zone, and also there's guys who think that they are in the friend zone, but they never really are. So that's the way I would answer that.
That's what I brought up. What about this? what about the guy that's from Dubai that's a multimillionaire and he has a liking to her? Do you think she's not going to go for him versus this
Well,
guy?
you bring up a good point.
That's just hypergamy.
That won't even be required.
Yeah, it is hyperbole.
Yeah, and there's always a high chance that we can say the was that the Woody Harrelson Demi Moore indecent proposal thing that actually occurs and stuff like that. I think that what he's gonna have more problems is the relationship moving forward. That's why I asked him in the beginning, is this just a mess around? Because if it is, do you, baby, have fun, enjoy yourself, go sigue, go ahead, but if it's in a relationship, and he literally said, all relationships do end or this and that. And I said, well, then why are you playing with that relationship? Wouldn't you want to wait? You can say, use your time to somebody that is a higher value woman, that is someone that's going to more likely turn out for the better, because she has a lot of red flags. But then he's also admitted this as, well, that's just an act. It's a fake. And that's the thing. He just made her look bad in this channel, because literally it shows the truth that she's faking it. So then now, if she's truly faking it, or it's an act, we'll just say it's an act. Let's not say fake. It's an act. Then there's these guys who think it's not, are not being told it's an act. Because if it's a true act, like he says it is, then you know what? There should be something in the bottom of the channel that's saying, this is just for entertainment purposes, and what I say, and this is just an act. But it's not going to be put there, because there's too many guys that wants to be in the friend zone lining up. And was I wrong to ask about, hey, that PayPal, there's a lot of guys putting money in there that you don't even know. And so when all the questions I was asking, he was going back and forth. And then when I started saying, well, we can rewind this, he got upset. I'm like, because he knew I was telling the truth, because that's how I asked the questions.
Well, Mike, I am not sorry I brought it up in the first place, because I happened to see the yoga things, and I watched them, because I remember I subscribed to before I came here from the U.S. I was still in the U.S., and I started finding all these channels, and you and these guys, my friends, I consider you guys friends, and she happened to pop up at one point, and I started seeing, oh, she's just doing yoga and spreading her
Bruce
legs.
Davis banned that boy.
You know why all this is pointless? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Right, next week, she's going to come on the show to defend herself. And what is the number one thing Filipinos are good at doing? Lying. And what's the number one thing simps are good at doing? Believing their lies. And that's how it goes down.
Let's be fair, Go-Go. What women good at is making lies, not just Filipinas. Women in general will white lie their way to a lot of
stuff. Sorry, I'm Michael Johnson. I want to ask Michael Johnson this question. Michael Johnson, are you in prison?
No, I'm in the Philippines.
His wife's wife caught him, so he came over to visit his wife, not knowing, and she locked him in. She locked him in. We have to send him every time. That's why he's here.
You know what? So the irony, like, as if a girl's going to come forward and say, yeah, I'm chatting to 25 other guys on my social media. They're never going to tell him. So he will never know.
I get you. I know you went up here.
No, I think this Dave guy probably doesn't really want to accept the fact that, first of all, he's defending her by saying that she can't log into the PayPal, which is total bullcrap. Because
I know, I agree with you on that.
Because if she already knew, then if she knew that she can't log in, then she would have, I assume, then someone with her, intellect, I think she probably would have told her subscribers, listen, I'm sorry, my PayPal doesn't work, I can't log in, don't send money. I mean, like you said, Mike, there's many people that most likely have sent money, and I'm sorry, but I think she can get into there, but she just doesn't want to tell Dave, hey, I can. Because obviously,
let's face the facts. Mitch, if any of us went to her channel and gave a lot of money, we're in. It's the highest bidder gets in the pants.
Yeah, but it's a silent. And so
Hey, Mike,
let's
can you
let's
cover-
not play. Let's
I
not use
said I'll
her.
give
Hey,
$1.
Mike, can you cover me? So I get paid to the 25th.
Hey, listen, I just spent,
Hey,
spent a
drop
lot of
me,
money.
drop me some coupons.
This
and some
this
Jolly
weekend
Bee-
has been expensive for me.
And be
So,
generous and drop her 100 for me.
But here's the thing, right? Let's that
I just
I
like
want to
what
give the
bareback was
benefit of
this
the doubt.
week.
That's why he's playing the game and saying that she's entertaining. It's an act. All those kind of things, right? But if that's your take, go. Now here's the thing. I know I can literally say this because I've seen some information. I know 4 Filipino vloggers that I know is you can buy. Like I know right now there are 4 Filipino vloggers from the Cebu area that you can buy for the weekend or for the week.
There's millions though, Mike, on YouTube
Mike,
that you can do that
send
with.
me a
Just send them
message.
the
Let me
money.
know which ones.
But that's the thing. So here's my thing, Go. If you feel that way, why don't you go put a silent bid and see how much it's going to cost?
Oh, damn.
So the thing is,
more than one. Wait.
Well, that's my point.
So no, here's the thing. We can't say that with everybody. So I'm not going to say that Sizzy's going to be one of those people that
guys
can
are
be
funny.
bought on that level of things. I think that's very
There's a dog
disrespectful for
twerking
me to
with
say.
bunny ears on.
Right.
You guys really missed
She
it.
knows what she's doing. The content's sexual. She knows
Because-
exactly what she's doing.
Because here's the thing. But based on what Dave says, she admittedly knows that she's thirst trapping. She admittedly knows that it's an act. That she
Yeah, he
admittedly
said
knows that she's doing these things to make money for her child, and she's doing whatever it is. I'm not saying she's giving it up. I'm just saying she's doing these thirst traps. The problem is a lot of these men who are watching these type of channels of these girls doing all that, they think that that's the reality of Filipinas.
Correct.
the
And
Philippines.
that's what I was saying, Mike. It seems that's the part that had bothered me. And then when he tried to go in and defend that it was just entertainment, all I was saying is she has her family and sisters and all that in the same channel. And that
Yeah, and
kind of blurs.
that's
a
why
little
I
bit.
asked them. I said, listen,
And I
can
get
we
it,
make
too.
fun of
It's
her
entertainment.
fake self online? She shouldn't get offended because that. But the thing though is, the only video I know of Sizzy Kelly was a video of her unfortunately sharing her feelings of people making comments about her. If it's an act, then you should be able to separate yourself from the act that you're making and say that's just a bad acting career of mine, whatever. Like I'm the worst actor in the world, so I don't bother acting.
Treble Trends TV. You got a scammer or a spammer or something going on.
She said that? Is that what you just said? I missed that, Mike. I
Huh?
missed what you said. I missed what you said.
Yeah, the only video I've come across Sizzy Kelly back in the days, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So was her, she made a video of talking about how people are saying bad things about her and she doesn't understand this and that. And listen, I felt bad for her, right? I truly did. I was like, this sucks for you, blah, blah, blah. But in my head is like, grow some skin, make it thicker. You put yourself out there in a bikini. If you don't have enough, you don't have enough covering, so you're gonna get slapped pretty fast, really easy. And that's how I think. So it's like, so don't complain, because the thing is, when you become sexual, it's like, for example, a porn star, because they tried to use the porn star thing and tried to use it against me. It's like using a porn star. You're not gonna be a porn star and be like, I can't believe that somebody text messaged me and told me that they want to spit in my face, even though after you made videos of people spitting on your face. I'm just using
Mia Khalifa is one of those, man. Trust me. Do you know who that is?
Mia Khalifa is back again, and she's in the game again. She's in the game again.
Mike, are you wearing your scapular today?
Mia Khalifa quit, became a coach, then became a dating coach, and then gave crypto advice. And then, got offended when a kid recognized her at one of those Omegle chats. And then all of a sudden complained that they didn't get paid enough. And then now she's back in. This was an article last month. How do I
Mike,
know?
that'd be like all of a sudden I just show up and we just start all doing Holy Roller and Bible stuff and just talking about Easter all year round or something, And then they recognize me talking smack about other vloggers or something and all the other stuff.
I'm just saying, it's like, so yeah, so Mitch,
George dressing up as a woman in Mexico.
Stop searching, because I know you're looking up Mia Khalifa right now. But like, where's the new video? I'm just kidding.
No, I knew about it, and I did look up, and I couldn't find any new ones.
Yeah, no, she just announced it, so she's probably in Scottsdale, Arizona right now making videos.
But the thing is, though, with this woman, she is also breaking the YouTube's terms and service. You know, like you're not allowed to mislead.
Well, actually,
the title.
that is another point, but I didn't want to go there. So you're right, because to some form, the stuff that I mean, the most that YouTube will probably do is demonetize some of the videos if a bunch of people report it. But it depends on how many reports and if they manually review it. But
her thumbnails do violate a lot. There's a lot of violation of her thumbnails. I agree. Do what you want to do with it. I could care less. I'm like, with that.
Exactly.
Well, how can you really trust her if she does that? Like, how can you really trust her?
All I can say is, like, there's a child with cancer that you guys need to understand that needs help.
True.
Well,
for 25 cents a day, you can feed a child and his family.
Wait, my turn. I'm dying. I have a chronic illness. I'm dying. Everyone feels sorry for me so that I can make my point valid. Thanks.
Yeah, use your own fucking voice, then I might.
Yeah, go.
I'm dying. Don't you care? I'm dying.
And Mike will know what I mean.
You guys totally missed my twerking
I see many people die.
Oh, thank you,
in my
Snowman.
job, many people die.
Appreciate you,
And
Snowman.
I'm sorry, but being that I'm desensitized of
A real
death
twerking
at
door.
this point.
People talk at once.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I do apologize, Mitch. It went in and out, so if you can please just give me a sentence.
No, I said, like, you know what I mean by in your field of work, like we are in. When you see so many people die, you become desensitized by it because you've seen so many times.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry that her child is going through this. It's very heartbreaking. But it's good to help people. It's good to help somebody in need. But there are a time where you have to say to yourself, I've given enough already. I'm sorry, I cannot give anymore because I need to look after myself as well.
Yeah, and the guy even admitted that he also helped. When he came by to see her, he saw the fact what's going on. The thing though is, like, you guys need to stop becoming, Mr. Save-A-Ho. So, and I'm not calling her a hoe.
Whoa.
Okay,
that's good.
I'm not calling her one. I'm not calling
her.
her one, but I'm saying is like the title of Dr. Save-A-Ho needs to stop for men. And so once again, let's bring it back in a chemical reason. The guy's in love with her because he helped her. So guys like to problem solve. We like stress, and stress that men love is problem solving. So when we problem solve with the stress that happens, we release vasopressin, which is our love hormone. So because he can give her advice, he's helped her, he's been with her, he was there by the side, his vasopressin went up, and he fell in love. But that is just a fake love because
Can't
that's
you release
hormonal
that
love.
same chemical through sex anyway?
The what?
Nothing. Never mind.
But here's the question I want to ask, right? Do you know how far? Sorry, Michael. Do you know how far her child's cancer is and what stages it is?
Well, he said that it was. It was.
Can we
done
not
already.
talk
They're done with
about
the
this? Because it
so
might not even be
I don't know.
true. That might not even be
I
true.
seen the videos. If that's her daughter, she does. It was in her videos. I said she's got her kids' photos and videos up.
Well, that one.